I think you missed that last one.
I might have. I was a little crazy. I never on my own. Maybe once. Ooh. I love losing control. Let me tell you right now, you are now witnessing either visually or just through your damn ear the Yeah Come On Show. The Yeah Come On Show brought to you by Oxygen Financial. 2 locations in the Atlanta metro, one in Buckhead, the other right here in the beautiful city of Alpharetta, where our studios are located. Just make sure you go to oxygenfinancial.net if you need investment advice, what to do about college, how much to save for college. Is the world going to come to end, or is the market in the greatest place ever? I love you, Donald. You know I do. Big Trump. I'm just giving credit. I hope you don't have a problem with that. I know when you talk politics, it's a problem. I'll go back to what I'm doing. Okay, cool. Just checking.
Never with me.
All right. And I just want to tell you that when you do go to oxygenfinancial.net, you need to ask for Ted Jenkins. He is the man. He handles all of my stuff, all my family stuff. He's got my neighbor. Didn't even know it. Came up at a cocktail party. I didn't even know. He's got everybody but Brett Barney.
There's not much to be had.
It's not your fault you don't have any money, but I love you. The second you get anything, you give it to Ted Jenkins. Now, I want to tell you right now, I do have a special guest here, a man that has got money placed all over the world. It's in the Caribbean. It's probably it's definitely buried, not on his property, but on his neighbor's property, and he don't even know it. This is a man that's got his hands in 7 or 8 different things, and you will meet him in just a second. The buildup is huge. Wait till you see who it is. But right now, to you, the come-oners, real quickly, we have some housework to do before we meet our guest and do our interview. That also allows my guest to drink right now off camera, which is what he's doing. Don't even show him yet. I don't want my guest seen yet. All right, go ahead. Tell me, what do the come-oners have to say?
All right, the come-oners, first one, the idiots that advertise for free. Hey, Southside, why will anyone ever pay you to advertise for them when you're doing it for free? Effing morons. By the way, you guys need to bring back the regular guys as another podcast with
Okay,
Wax.
2005. All right, we did have Larry on. We've had him on twice. I can't do anymore. I'm going to try to get Eric on.
We got to mix it up a little bit.
Yeah, my God. What are they saying? What are we giving away for free?
Your Woodford sponsorship.
Oh,
your plug every week.
Bringing that up, Woodford, I don't know if you've heard yet, but I do plug you every single week. I also plug Jack Daniels because I know you're the same company. I do. And I just want to say right now that if there was a podcast you were going to sponsor, somebody that's drank Jack Daniels since the 10th grade, 1981, who's talked about it on the radio in Atlanta for 26 years, who advertised it in a bar he owned for 5 years, I'm your Huckleberry. How about a little liquid and a splash of cheddar for the Yeah Come On Show? Those of you that know anybody or go out to Lynchburg, spread the word. Let's get it to them. Thank you. Go ahead.
Southside's impersonations usually suck, but his John Travolta and his crushed red tomato can ones are funny as F-word. I was keeping it clean today.
I'm a tomato. I'm a big tomato.
Although people around his neighborhood say his Jerry Sandusky is pretty spot on too.
Shit.
Anyways, I ate a pound of boar's head roast beef last night and I need to take a shit, but best believe I'll still be yeah come oning while shitting. And Brett, you'll never grow a ponytail and you'll never be Southside, so sell your gay ass Camaro, you midget.
Oh my God.
God.
He just called you a child predator, basically.
Well, I don't know what's better, being the child predator. Hi, it's the child predator and the midget. Welcome to our show. We do things. Good God.
Good morning show duo.
That was rough. And I appreciate the on
That's
again,
hilarious.
the on again, off again, Tyler Maynard over there, producer number 2, laughing his ass off at that.
I'm sorry.
I mean, seriously? That's not funny to think that I would do that. I have a child.
It was an appalled laugh. It wasn't.
You know what? I have never touched anybody under 17, period. And that's
Am I
legal.
creepy?
No. No. Go ahead.
That's a no questioning it.
Yeah, and by the way, when I touched the 17-year-old, I was 17. Suck it.
No, so I did want to ask you this. We kind of had a little bit of this discussion off air. I think we should reward some of the come-oners, and I was curious if I gave you $100, how many hats could I get?
Retail price is $25. Get
But
4.
I'm family. Come on, family and friends.
Discount.
Family and friends.
Family and friends, people that have done things for me, I give a $5 discount because you're getting dangerously close to my cost. I got to make a little money here. So $20 would be what I would
So I'll
sell.
give you 5.
But I can't. You could get 5. I'll give you 5.
All right.
You got a hundy?
Oh yeah, let's do that.
Boomsy, we're doing a little bit of business on the Yeah Come On show. By the way, you can go to yeahcomeon.com for all your Yeah Come On needs.
Smelling it.
Sweet. Where did I put this? I'm putting this.
So I'm thinking that we take
Special
that
spot.
and what do? How do you want to do this? We'll
what do you mean? You just bought 5 hats. I guess they're for your friends.
Well, I'm going to give them away to come oners.
You can't give away hats on our show.
Yes, I can do it if I just bought them.
Yo, you can't.
They're my hats now.
Wait, hold on. You bought hats to give away to our fans.
Why not? They
you
entertain
dead
me
serious?
by bashing
Is this
us.
a
It's
bit?
hilarious. No.
Dude, you bought 5 hats. I assume you're going to give one to your brother, one to your mother, and can't your
That's
dad.
all I got.
Your dad.
Okay, let's not go there.
For those of you who don't know it, Brett's father passed away this year. Yeah. All right.
Sorry.
He's undercutting your whole website by doing.
You want to give one to your girlfriend? Or so you're buying hats from me. That makes me look like a
I'm thinking-
jackass that I won't give away hats from our site.
Follow at the Yeah Come On Show on Twitter and on Instagram, and then shoot me a screenshot that you subscribed either on Apple or that you're subscribed on YouTube. I mean, you may already be there. And I'll just pick somebody randomly, message them by next Wednesday, and I'll mail them a hat, and we can just do it for a couple weeks and come up with some new ideas.
That makes me look like an idiot.
Well, that's not difficult. It's like-
Is this Bailey?
Welcome
and
to this
Southside?
show.
Is this Bailey? How about if I just match it? But I'm keeping your $100.
Okay, so we have 10 hats.
You got 10.
Okay, then we'll figure out something with 10 hats. So we could possibly give 2 away by
I'll
next week.
buy the others. Killing me. I'm trying to make money here. This is my son's college fund. Good. By the way, to the rest of you, pay the retail prices. I'm telling you, I marked this stuff down. I just lowered koozies, or those little tins. What do you call it? The
Turbis?
The turbis. I
whatever?
lowered that down $5. Those things cost me like $18. I'm making $7. Let me make some money.
I just want to remind people that if you bash us, I'm the one who's going to be deciding who wins.
Oh, yeah.
So let the floodgates go.
All right, bring it on. Please don't cut me down. It hurts. All right, now it is time for our guest. Do we give music, do you think?
I don't know. We didn't have a request, but we can get some.
What would this guy like? What would he like? Would he like?
Beatbox.
Beatbox? No, I think he's a classic rock or a rock guy.
I don't think 80s hip hop.
80s hip hop? I don't think he's 80s. Something
80s hair
rockin'.
metal?
No. Ah, what the hell? You have any? Just you got anything?
Yeah,
Just throw me something.
You got any Trace Cat Day?
Trace Cat.
Oh, God.
His
How
band.
about aha? Give him some aha.
What is that?
How about some talk from Talk?
Isn't
what
it
I'm talking about.
Take on me?
Take on me.
Wow, that's bad.
All right.
All right, I'm introducing him right now. This is about to happen. Let the cameras roll. Today's guest has just done it all, and he's doing it all.
I was trying to get it going. There we go.
Is this your band?
No, this is Neil Young.
You should have said yes.
Neil Young's a comic.
I grabbed the first.
God,
That's why we talk about this.
Okay.
Fair.
All right, back to my guest. Today's guest has just done it all. He's doing it all. He got his start in comedy back in 1991, and yes, he is a comedian and a comedy writer, but he's also a lawyer, a realtor, an EMC, an entertainer, a former NFL agent, a small business owner, and he spent time on the radio. He's also a corporate speaker, a father, a coach, the owner of the Punchline, and he's on a show that he just left. I don't think I missed anything. Mr. Jamie Bendall, welcome to the Yeah Come On show.
It's great to be here.
Jamie, you just left the cameras. You've got on makeup. I can see it.
I was down at Atlanta and Company doing some panel relationship talk, as I do a couple
Yeah.
of times a month with them.
That's
they said,
awesome.
Hey, can you come on in on Wednesday? I immediately thought you had some fallouts.
No, No, we will go guestless.
first choice.
No, we like to have a guest, go guestless. Have a guest, go guestless. And I will tell
I
you.
mean, we've been knowing each other a long time.
Long time. We've been knowing
This
each
is
other.
the first time that you've initiated any outside studio contact.
I know. And you know what? And I don't want it to feel sore, but I was like, once I got people that had been in the business and my athletes and stuff like that, I started thinking about dynamic individuals. And
Dynamic. I mean, that's, dynamic is...
Yes, a huge word. And I can't spell it, but I can say it. And somebody local, too. And how long have I been telling you I wanted to have Jamie Bendall on? Tell the truth. I won't even look at you.
72 hours.
I was going to say like 17 , but...
17 hours?
Yeah,
I mean, it's
take
clearly,
an hour to 3.
clearly some
or
time
4.
period. I mean,
That is not true.
We're all friends here, Steve.
I mean, no. How long have I been saying I wanted Jamie Bendall? You were talking about local comedians. I said I'd really like to have Jamie.
In reality, it's been like a month or 2.
Thank you. It's been 2 months that I've wanted to have you on.
All right.
No, and
It
it's
was
just
before Germany. I know that.
before he left for Germany. Thank you. You overheard it, didn't you, Tyler Maynard? Go ahead and say something nice.
I did, yes.
Okay.
I'll back
All
you
right.
up.
I'll take
God.
it. I'll take it.
So you weren't last minute.
All right.
But had you said,
But I'm happy to be last minute, Steve.
No.
I'm always there to help you out.
now you know
I
what?
got your back.
You've always had my back. He
Right.
has had my back. I love Jamie Bendall, and I owe Jamie Bendall huge. There's nothing I wouldn't do. I wouldn't take a bullet in the heart or the chest cavity, but I'd take one in the limb for you. Yeah, I'd give you an arm
I would
shot.
hope to never put you in that circumstance.
Well,
Steve.
let's hope you know. There's no way. You're clean as a whistle. Jamie does it all. Did you guys hear? Some people are just a lawyer. Some people are just a realtor. I mean, you're lucky if you're an entrepreneur. I mean, that's gutsy. But the fact that you started off as a comedian and then bought into me growing up in Atlanta, the comedy club in Atlanta, period, in the
One of
story,
the top 10 clubs in the country.
is the Punchline.
Yeah.
Is the Punchline. I guess we could start there because that's what a lot of people know. You've been
Okay.
on the regular guys with us. You've been on with Bailey and Southside on Rock 100.5. You were also, did we have you on 96 Rock?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I thought we did. All right. So,
Some of those country formats, been on there with you?
well, you know what? That's the thing, too. Yeah, even when I was in country, I had Jamie. I did Eagle 106.7 in 2007
R.I.P.
with Rhubarb in Dallas. We miss you. But you have done all the stations, too. So, I mean, comedy is something that you book these guests. I assume you own it. What an investment. I mean, how did the Punchline thing come about?
Well, so I started doing comedy when I was in college, and
What college?
had the opportunity. I went here locally in Atlanta at Emory. And,
Oh, God, you got money. parents
or I had the capacity to borrow money. I mean, one or the other, right? You either got it or you're borrowing it. I mean, I
Don't you love when somebody goes, I went to Emory, you're like, oh, damn.
I just think he's probably smarter than me, which by reading this
You went
list,
to
it's not that
Alabama.
difficult.
You went
Yeah.
to Alabama. Don't doubt yourself.
Yeah, it's it's everybody goes to school someplace, right?
No, but
So we-
Emory's impressive.
Not
So-
everybody.
Yeah. Well, okay, so
Not
in fairness,
everybody.
okay, many people they go
I
someplace.
attended
to
Georgia
some
State
point.
for years,
Yeah.
and I did Clayton Jr. for a minute.
There you go.
Damn it.
I mean, get the T-shirt, put the sticker on the back window of the car, move forward.
Yes, thank you. Let's go
Get the
ahead.
So I started doing
abbreviated hat.
whatever it is, right? Whatever it is. So years ago, there was a dude, and this is a true story, unrelated to comedy, but relative to colleges and the cost of college education, because obviously part of being here in the studio and the financial planning and whatever. And I actually thought initially you were booking me to be on a financial show.
Because that's what you talk about a lot. Now, Ted Jenkins would do that, but he likes to come on here too and cut up. But
yeah.
we're not talking finances unless it's
But
creative.
So check this out. So
sell drugs? I
At
wanna
the
know.
time, but at the time, for many years, I drove a Volvo station wagon.
I know that for a fact. I've seen
Okay,
it.
drove a Volvo station wagon.
Embarrassing as shit.
I am going up 400 one day, and it's like this time of year. It's kind of cold in the winter, and there is a dude in an older Volvo station wagon, and there was on the back window of this station wagon was filled with college, like you do when you're a parent, you put the school name. It was top to bottom covered with school names.
That poor bastard.
This dude is in his car with a hat, a parka, driving this old Volvo. And I was like, oh, good God, this is going to be me. Like, this is my future. I'm seeing that guy. It wasn't like a Terminator movie. I'm like, but I'm him. Like, yeah.
He can't afford a new car because he's paid for all those the
You
education.
are paying it off,
and the
right?
heater doesn't work in the
Heater
car.
does not work.
And that's why he's wearing a jacket, and he probably doesn't even have a radio.
Absolutely. So, in any event, but I started doing comedy, went away to law school, came back to Atlanta, started practicing, had an opportunity to buy into the club, which was a place that I was very fond of. It was one of the first places I ever did open mic as a comedian. And so had an opportunity to get involved in 2003, and it's been a great run
So that's when you jumped in the Punchline.
Yeah.
Now, are you? I remember. I know other owners, without throwing names
Yeah.
around. How many owners are there?
So there's 3 of us, and one of the other partners, who you know very well, is my friend Chris DePetta, and I was a house MC for Chris back when I first started doing comedy in the early 90s. He
Chris
owned
is a
another club.
sweet man.
Terrific guy.
Love
and,
that guy.
And we've had a very good partnership, and he was a very early mentor as a performer on stage, and I've been very fortunate to have him as a business partner for this.
Okay, and then the third person's just silent.
Very silent.
Oh damn! It's
Super
somebody.
silent.
It's somebody big.
Way
It's
silent.
somebody.
It's Bob.
So
damn.
silent.
It's probably like a huge comedian or something like that, or an actor, or
Kevin Hart. Oh, I'm just
Not
gonna
Kevin Hart.
I'm gonna
He's
start
not Kevin
random
Hart.
names
Not
out.
Kevin Hart.
so wow, never to be known. I
Yeah.
like. I
We're
can
gonna keep
dig
a little bit of mystery.
You know, a little bit of mystery. Probably sells porn and makes a fortune.
No, just silent.
That would be funny. That's not
silent.
funny. I'm gonna let that go. It's like, you know what? Let's just
Sometimes,
let that
Steve,
go.
right, you just go. Right? You just got to pull yourself back every once in a while. You think maybe this is not a place I should be.
Sometimes I just go there.
You just go. You
I
just go,
do.
and you get out there, and you're like, "This is a
God.
bad place," right?
You know what?
Comedically, there are times, and I say this very affectionately.
Oh.
but you are a bit like Wile E. Coyote
Mm-hmm.
when he first gets out off the cliff, right? And he thinks this is awesome, and then he has the moment of recognition: this is a bad place for me to be.
Yeah.
We've had a couple of those.
Yeah, yeah.
That's my whole life.
But it's endearing.
It is.
It is.
It's totally endearing.
Gotta take risks.
Yeah,
You
take
do.
the risk.
I do. I've always taken the risk. I've got 2 failed businesses. What's up?
Yeah.
Yeah, come on, though. It's happening. If you people will just spend money, buy a hat for me. Why go
I
buy
did
a
it.
Nike? Thank you.
Why?
I
I mean,
thank
why
you.
can't they?
Yes. Go buy a hat. YetComeOn.com. You know, I'd love to see
Free
hat,
ones on the way.
hat prices just surge today. Surprise me. Buy a hat if you watch this.
Do you have dynamic pricing of the hats?
They're $25.
Right, but if there's demand, does it surge price?
Oh no, there's no surging.
You should figure that out because that would be awesome.
What do you mean?
That if there's orders that are coming in at a certain number of volume, it automatically kicks the price up like an airline ticket.
Or like a megabus.
I could do
Right.
that.
First one in gets it for
First one
$1.
in, they're in
Second
for
one in's
$1.
200.
Last person on the bus, you're buying the gas.
So,
Exactly.
so do you think I should say the
It's
first?
genius.
So you think the first person that orders today should get the hat for like 15? And I take a loss, and then work my way up.
No, so listen, I am not the person to.
What do you think about my "I do what I do when I do it" shirts, or my palm tree
I
shirts?
think that's a lot to read.
Okay. Is it? But it
think
comes.
that's a lot.
It's written right across the chest.
But,
It's small
it's
print.
the way you're
I
in
do what I do
motion.
when I do it.
Right, but by the time somebody says that, it's been done.
How about my palm tree? I have a large palm tree that I drew on a shirt. This palm tree. It's my handwriting.
Now that
It's pretty
you
cool.
could be like Banksy.
Thank you.
Right? You could be a regional Banksy.
That's the first time that's
and-
ever.
Yeah, that'll never ever be said again once.
What?
That you're like Banksy.
Who's Banksy?
Exactly.
Doesn't matter. You just be the Banksy.
I like the Banksy.
Be Banksy.
Whatever
right?
Banksy
it's
is,
iconic drawings of stuff.
Yes,
and, you
I
know.
do that. All right,
Right?
y'all obviously know who Banksy is, and I don't. Was he like a
Street artist.
street artist?
Yeah,
artist.
famous.
All right,
yeah.
famous street artist.
Very
Where?
famous.
In New York? Where?
Every
all
place.
over the world.
All over the
Started
world,
from the
worldwide.
UK. Yeah, loved
He's
it.
unknown.
All right.
He's
Well, I know what.
mysterious artist.
I know the painter, the guy that does the melted clocks. I know who that is. So take that.
Salvador Dali. I love how you said, I know the guy that does
I know
this."
the guy.
Yeah, I
I
had
know
to
the
say
guy.
the name.
You
I
need
know
to
Dolly personally.
listen. If you're in the market for a melted clock, I got a guy.
I got a guy.
I got a guy.
I got a guy if you need that. I'd love to have a melted clock painting. All right, Banksy, that's cool, dude. I'm going to look that up. I'm glad you said that. Make sure somebody says it one more time this year, just because because y'all don't think it'll happen.
Banksy.
There's like 2 months left. That's
We'll
an impossible
squeeze it in.
dream.
All right, so
What you should do is you should cross promote, and if you mention Banksy, you might get a hat.
for free,
Free hat.
dude.
I mean, it's kind of in keeping with his, bringing down the corporate monopoly,
Who did
which
it-
clearly you're trying to be.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to be a monopoly. I want to be a good old boy.
You
that-
want a corner of the market, and yeah, come on, hats.
I do. I
Make
want
them
everybody
rare
wearing
and
one.
expensive.
Yeah. I don't even know why. By the way, brothers, why aren't you buying my lid? It comes flat. Serious? Is that wrong?
Okay, so look, I am a
He's Wile E.
long
Coyoteing
time-
right now.
You just Wile E. Coyoted yourself.
Yeah.
And
For
you should
real.
have one of those little signs that holds up and goes, boom.
Boom.
Yeah.
Boom.
Just
You know,
little-
and all the white guys in Milton curve it, which I dig it. You're curving it. There's lots of things you can do with this hat. You can even lift it up and go Gomer. I don't care. Or whatever the guy was.
So listen, I was probably less specific than I should have been.
Yeah.
In asking how long we would be together today.
Yeah.
And then as we've progressed in your
To where we are now?
content decisions, is there usually an expectation that the guest kind of cross promotes and
Well, there is. And
Now we try and sell Steve's hats for an hour and a half.
I like it. If
a long infomercial.
Jamie, hold on. If Jamie's here to help me sell my hats,
I don't know what my job is here today.
No,
I mean,
your job is we're going to investigate your life, but I will tell you.
is this like the thing where we pretend we're on the Larry King set and I tell you about health supplements?
No,
I mean, is
we're not doing that.
Okay.
No.
Because that guy,
He's making a
Yeah.
fortune. His wife
Until he went to jail.
But yeah, and his wife just left him.
yeah. Oh, you're talking about Larry
Seven.
King.
I was
talking
referring
about
to
the,
Larry. Who
yeah.
are you referring to? The pill guy?
The other guy that was the guest.
The guest.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, I'm talking about Larry. Poor Larry. He's got a really nice house, but his wife.
I don't
left him
actually think
more.
Larry King was the host of that show. I think there was a lookalike guy. You know the
think
infomercial
Larry's
that I'm referring
dead?
to? I don't remember what the guy's name is, but it was designed to look like a Larry King live set, and the guy sold real estate, and then he got out of selling you real estate, and he went into selling you pills,
Who is that
and
guy?
he went into
Yeah, look that guy up.
Yeah.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
I can't think of his name.
Kevin something maybe. Maybe was
Oh
it
my
Kevin?
God, that's great. Yeah, and he did a fake Larry, like he had an imitation.
But if you were
Larry.
just
he was
flipping
never
through
on
the
the Larry
channels,
King
it just
show.
looked like it was a Larry King set. It was that
Yes.
sort of rainbow polka dot.
Do you remember that? You know what he's talking about?
Yeah, it's like
Back when
the
people watched
little-
TV.
Yeah, when we watched TV back in the day. You try to find that, Tyler Maynard.
A bright light.
Bright light.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Dots.
is there money in comedy, or do you? I mean, I'm just trying to understand because you book these guys, you have to pay comedians different amounts of money. Who decides what they get paid? Is that the partnership in that you're on, or how tough is that? Or do they
so
tell
it's-
you what they want?
I would say, Steve, that if you can master the hat sale business, you have a potential ability to run a comedy club. Very similar, right? You have inventory. I buy a certain number of tickets of the comedian. The comedian says, I'm willing to work this number of shows for this amount of money. I try to figure out if I can make what those numbers are work. And you start over the following week.
Do you have to sometimes increase your ticket sales, or does Punchline pretty much keep?
There
it
are
straight?
there. It's so we've been very fortunate, and you made reference earlier to the fact that I've seen you in a variety of different shows on the air and across the different formats, and I don't know to what extent you've ever discussed it here, but the reality is that. Broadcast radio has changed significantly, how you quantify that, the way you can have guests. And so it is rarer and rarer that you actually are able to get a comedian on the air and have them on for an extended time period. And so it's forced you to kind of, both the act and the venue, to try to promote those acts in other formats.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, we're good about it.
You guys are terrific.
Yeah, I think because we'll bring in a comedian. We always try to take a comedian from you, depending on what's going on the show. But we're always good for 30 minutes on air.
Well, but it also has to work for the show, right?
Sure,
So I think the
it
thing
does.
that's a mistake is that any guest where that the business part of it is not organic to the show, it just doesn't necessarily work as well.
Yeah, sometimes it doesn't. You're right. I hear them come up, or it might be an up and comer that we're just not wanting to go, or somebody that we're just like, it doesn't really fit. You're right. But I think you definitely, the Punchline garners great acts. I mean, I know when there's been other clubs, I'm not really sure of the competition factor right now. I was always just a Punchline guy, but you had to leave your old location and move it.
Yeah, so we moved. We're down in Buckhead now, and that's gone great. We're inside the Landmark Diner. It's terrific. Most people wouldn't even know if you drove by the place that we're in there. We got 200 seats. If you've ever been in the Landmark Diner, it's a 24-hour place. Many people have been there after whatever they were doing out in town is finished, and they're going to have something to eat before they
Yeah, the
head
1
home.
a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m.
They are crushing it in the 1 a.m. to 3 a.m.
It's
time
the
period.
largest menu in town.
It's crazy, and it's all available in the showroom. So when the lights are down and there's a comedian on stage, I'll walk by somebody that's got everything from a shrimp scampi, and the person across from him is eating pancakes, and they're both there watching a 10 o'clock in the evening kind of comedy show.
It is bizarre.
So, so the biggest thing about Atlanta that most people don't appreciate is we have almost every act that can sell a lot of tickets here in concert. So, which differs from a lot of cities. So, when you look at competition in the broadest sense, the metro area has changed so much over the last 20 or 30 years.
Oh, I totally agree.
Right? So, if you're a person who lives up in Woodstock, there's a ton of stuff that's going on in Woodstock now that wasn't necessarily there 10 years ago. You talk about, we're here at Alpharetta right now. If you were coming to see Ted and the guys at Oxygen and you had a choice of going to offices, I'm going to tell you, come up to this office here in Alpharetta and walk around the new downtown.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a ton of stuff that's going on
Great
around here now.
restaurants, a little wine store over here.
It's terrific.
Yeah, I go in there. It really is neat. A couple places just to buy,
It's awesome.
clothing and things.
Yeah.
Get it, son. Woodruff. Thank you, Woodruff.
So listen, I want to go back to that.
Woodford.
'cause
Did I say Woodruff?
Yeah, we just lost a
Damn it.
sponsor.
God, it's Woodford. You know what I meant. What? Go ahead.
I'm not here to tell you how to do things, Steve.
Yeah,
Okay?
please. But yeah, you can.
But I
take
did-
advice from you, Jay.
But I heard before I was invited in to be a vocal participant in the program, I heard some of the initial conversation, and I think you said it's been 26 years that you've been promoting the brand without any feeling of reciprocation on their part.
Yeah, 26 years.
And I have to tell you, I think they've made a terrific investment in your free advocacy of the product. I mean, truly, you have no reason for them to pay for the cow at this point because you are giving the milk for free.
Damn it.
Damn it.
Damn it. So what do you think I do? I mean, I'm giving the milk for free, but
I think you turn the bottle around. I think you
thank you.
you possibly switch brands. You start to play hard to get.
There you go. Yep. Treat it like a woman.
So
Yeah.
you are just
You know I know how to do that.
You are just too out there.
Yeah.
You gotta
Pull back.
pull back a little bit. Maybe hide the bottle behind a hat. You want to see what the bottle is? Buy the hat for the low price of $25.
Now, I couldn't find a clip, but it was Kevin Trudeau.
Okay, there you
mega
go.
Memory.
There you go. Yeah.
And he's
That
in
guy.
jail now.
He is in jail. He wound up going to jail.
I like
Yeah.
what he's saying. I hope
for him.
Are you
Yeah.
writing down this crap?
I mean,
Jamie's-
Steve, I'm just trying to help you here,
Right,
right?
because Jamie is doing it all. Did I mention that Jamie is in the real estate too? Are you still selling homes and
Yes.
cars? Didn't you own a used car lot too?
We did.
You don't now?
I'm out of the car business.
You're out of the car business.
I'm out of the car business.
Why did a guy that owned a car business drive an old Volvo station wagon?
Car business wasn't good.
Oof.
I'm sorry.
I actually didn't have the Volvo at the time we had the car business.
How many years
got rid of
did
the-
you have the car business?
We had the car business from 2009, I guess, to 2012.
Okay,
And
was
then my partner sold the business in 2014. I
Okay.
got out in 2012.
You got out. Yeah. Okay. Used cars.
We did some newerly used.
Exotics? Did you do the
Newerly
exotics?
used.
Gently
Newly
used?
We had gently used. We had some
Barely
vigorously
used, previously.
They were all previously used.
Yeah, but come on.
Some more gently than others.
Yeah.
I loved it. I mean, if you've ever had the chance to be down at one of the I was.
Auto auctions. And you
God.
bought because
It's
you
the
were buying the cars.
I went down periodically to buy the cars. Has nothing to do with me getting out of the car
Hey,
business.
Johnny, I just got a great deal on 73 Pintos. Awesome.
No, so I love the weird stuff that's down at the bottom, the old stuff, some of the collectible stuff that doesn't always go through the auction. I really kind of liked, searching for that kind of stuff. In fact,
okay.
yeah,
Like Chevys,
some
Camaros.
of the stuff went through, and you'd see some of the athletes, custom cars that would go through, periodically. They have an exotics only auction, which is pretty neat.
Damn.
Yeah, so
They're beautiful cars.
yeah.
All right,
But I
cool.
can now listen. There are a wide variety of reasons to be in the car business. It just wasn't something I was going to continue doing.
All right, so you enjoyed it for a minute.
Loved it.
Did you at least get a car from the car business that you still own?
I did.
What do you? It's a classic, right? What do you have? Something
I
in a garage that only comes out on Sundays.
It comes out on more than Sundays. Isn't particularly fancy. The three cars that I liked most that we got out of the auction. I bought a '77 VW bus.
Awesome. My brother has.
Yeah.
Big old hippie van.
Yeah, it
That's
was
cool.
It was awesome. It was Smurf blue.
Okay.
It had the chrome foot for a gas pedal.
Oh, that's awesome.
It was a stick. Love that thing. My children were mortified. They're like, "This is awful." I drove them to school in it one day, and no joke, the
I'll take the bus, Dad. I'll take the bus.
yeah, the door fell off in the carpool lane.
But those things
Yeah.
are great.
Oh, it was awesome. It was the greatest, and it was. You couldn't barely get that thing up a hill. But I will say, every person who saw that car had a story about a VW bus.
Yeah, they're cool. My
and I
brother was
knew-
into it.
Yeah, and I knew that somebody ultimately was going to buy it who wanted to restore the thing, and we wound up selling it to parents came in, bought it for their teenage son. Their next door neighbor was a VW restorer, and so they basically bought it as a project for him, which I knew would ultimately happen and was great.
Yeah, and he had this cool vehicle that he has to smoke pot to drive. God bless you. You gave a kid a car that he has to be a pot smoker to own.
Or be a camper. I mean,
Maybe.
you don't have to. You have to like farmers markets and
Maybe
other
the
stuff.
camper. All right, I'll give you the camper. We'll go ahead. We'll say camper because
Yeah.
you're in here.
I mean, come on.
But we know what it is.
Yeah.
What are the other two?
The other one that I bought was actually Tom Rhodes, the comedian.
What did you get off Tom?
So Tom, for years, anybody who knows Tom actually didn't have a home and,
He didn't.
and lived on the road. Like
It was
he
his
worked
joke.
so much and was all around the world, and so actually had no physical address. But the car that he drove was typically a 5 Series BMW.
Okay.
And so on one of his trips, a deer comes across the road, totals the car, and I was telling him about an 80. I think it was an 80. His was an 88 5 Series, the old classic shark nose sedan that I had seen down at the auction, and I had wanted to bid on it, and I didn't. I kind of wimped out about it, and then Tom was telling me the story, and I says, Tom, you got to buy this car. So I actually connected Tom with the dealer down in Jacksonville. Tom went down, bought the car, and drove it for a number of years.
Oh, wow.
So I then said, I really regret that. So I went and bought myself found it at the auction, an 87 5 Series that was a stick and the whole deal. Loved that car. And then
You still own that one?
no, when we got rid of the dealership, I got rid of a place to store it because we had an indoor warehouse as part of the dealership. So when I got out, I let that car go because I didn't feel it was responsible to have in the rain. And then the last car that I bought that was a personal car was it's just a 99 old little 3 Series convertible, BMW convertible.
BMW. Okay.
Yeah.
And you got that still?
Love that car.
Okay.
Best money I ever spent. Puts a smile on my face every time. I am
Really?
a huge proponent. So here's the thing. What I love about the car business, I know you've had, the cars that you're notorious for having.
Yes.
Right? But outside of that, there's got to be other cars that you like. When you see it in traffic, you're like, I really like the way that car looks. Right?
That's good. You're right. I have purchased cars based on my personality or what I thought I needed to drive, like my Mustangs, the Shelby, the trucks, those kind of things. I kind of like. I'm glad you brought that up. There are cars I do like. I think I like Mercedes. I just don't know that a dude driving a ponytail should own a Mercedes. A dude with a ponytail.
I would say driving a ponytail?
So, yeah, first of all,
Driving with.
don't drive the ponytail. But secondly, Los Angeles wouldn't exist if you couldn't
I
drive a
know.
Mercedes with a ponytail. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
But my-
like some of the Mercedes sedans. I see some of them like, that looks good.
All
that
right,
looks
so some of the
good.
classic Mercedes sedans, right? So I'm a proponent of, if it puts a smile on your face when you see it and you think you would drive it, it is available for you to purchase, probably at a price that you can afford if you are patient and go to the auctions.
How about the 77 Trans Am? I also like that guy.
It's a great car.
Yeah, I want
Right?
that. I want that pretty bad.
Yeah, that's
probably the number one car I would get.
And I'm sure it's going to put a smile on your face every
It
time
would.
you drive it.
The Bandit.
Yeah, why wouldn't, right?
We lost Burt.
I feel like you need a pinky ring for both of these cars.
No, you don't need a pinky ring
These
for the
are
Trans
pinky
Am.
ring
No,
cars.
something that you can clink on the shifter.
Look at
Right?
that.
It's got to be a
That's
little
beaut.
clink,
Yeah,
clink.
yeah.
Yeah.
How much is that going for? I'll buy it
Thank
right
you.
now.
Let's see.
Just go ahead and order that.
Okay, so listen. And I mean this. So
Today's the day. What? Go ahead.
you should be on. Do you ever go and bring a trailer?
No.
There's bringatrailer.com, which is a terrific. If you're ever at all interested in cars and whatnot, classic cars in particular, it's all auction
Bring a
based.
trailer, man.
Bringatrailer.com.
Awesome.
They have great inventory. It tells you where the prices are and whatnot. I've been doing an annual trip with a buddy of mine. We go down to the Big Meekum auction down there in Kissimmee. It is terrific if you like cars.
So you just go down there just because you like to watch it? I mean, are you looking to purchase and resell? Is that
We've
something you
looked
do?
at being right now. All the old boxy '80s pickup trucks, '70s pickup trucks are hot as can be for restoration stuff. The Broncos, all that stuff.
I'm about to
is
say the
super popular
Bronco's
now.
been a beautiful
Yeah.
automobile for a
Yeah.
long time. I actually almost bought one of those. I wanted it, but I was like, it's probably not something I need to drive every day, But
I just saw yesterday that they at the SEMA show, Ford had their electric Mustang, all battery operated with a stick,
an electric Mustang.
800 horsepower.
With a stick, too?
All right,
Wow,
I'm not going to cut it down because it's got
Yeah,
800
man.
horsepower.
Yeah,
That's
it's pretty
insane.
sharp looking. And what's crazy about it is you technically don't need a stick of any kind, right? For
No.
battery cars, but they've done a terrific job with it. They're hopefully maybe bringing it in production.
So a manual transmission on an electric car with 800 horsepower.
800 horsepower.
Because the electric cars have more torque, too.
Yeah,
so
it's all
that-
torquey. It
I
is
know.
like, yeah.
Somebody told me a Leaf could dog me off the line. I'm like, shut up. I love Nissan, but shut up. I'm not even going to listen to that. All right, so we've
All
established.
right, we've gotten very far afield, Steve. Where
No.
did you want to be? What did you want to be talking about?
I'll be honest with you, Jamie.
Where are we
Welcome to the
going?
podcast.
One thing, no, this is what this podcast does. I love the fact that we can just talk to people. The main thing I want to do is let people get to know you. For those of you that are seeing Jamie Bendall for the first time, I know.
Redneck
I like
Seinfeld,
It. I like it. We are redneck Seinfeld.
I actually, true story, in college, I wrote Jerry Seinfeld a letter asking if I could open for him.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Did he respond?
Did not respond.
But you tried.
I tried. And then in law school, I was down at an open mic at the Improv one night and got bumped. So I had to follow Seinfeld,
Ooh, fun.
God.
which was challenging. Great lesson.
least.
He crushed. So it was,
Did you just come out and go, that was Seinfeld? Okay, try to
yeah,
laugh.
like I had to
assholes."
explain that to somebody?
Yeah.
No. Right?
No, was this after he had a show? Or?
Oh yeah, no,
Okay,
this
okay.
was real Seinfeld.
Okay.
You know, and he.
Great.
Oh, it was terrific.
It's like you couldn't wait till I go first, dude.
Well, so if you're in the business and you're in New York or Los Angeles, there's definitely a hierarchy of who are the people and whatnot, and you reach a certain level and you can kind of bump those who are below you out of the way. And so it was a Monday night, and a lot of us that were trying to get stage time and make our way and do all those other things, you know, you periodically get bumped by somebody like that.
And you're like, Seinfeld just bumped me.
Well, but it was a great. So
But they're letting me go
No,
on
but so here's the
after
thing. So
a total
listen,
disaster.
No. So here's the deal, and this is the deal, Steve.
All right.
You know, in life, you can reach a certain point where you stop giving it 100% effort the way you should.
Sure.
Right? And you've probably had some circumstances where you've been at a gig and it is not going the way you'd want it to, or whatever it is, and you have the decision to go, am I going to give them full Southside here, or am I going to pull up and kind of walk through the finish line?
No, and I have been in that situation many, many times in doing a live promotion, and I always elect to pop it in high gear.
You got to go.
I got to go.
You
I
gotta
have
go.
never, ever in my life melded in because I know I'm being paid to be there. I know a sales guy's butt's on the line. I know the client's watching me. My reputation's on the line. And I'm like, the harder the crowd is, I will push through.
Right.
I will make it entertaining if it kills me.
All right. So a lot of times, younger comedians, less experienced comedians, will be very quick to blame the audience. So on this particular evening, there was maybe only 15 or 20 people in the audience, and comedians that went up before Seinfeld were struggling and not doing very well and going, whatever.
So
and then Seinfeld goes up and basically destroys the room.
And the room's like,
destroys the room, right? Yeah. And so what the reminder is that it has nothing to do with the people in the room. It has everything to do with the attitude of the performer on stage. So for me, it was a great lesson. And I will tell you, there are times, and I'm not like telling an industry secret, but whatever the first night of the week is for a comedy club, whether it's Wednesday or Thursday, sometimes those shows can be lighter than the weekend shows. The comedian is often arriving that day, and maybe the ticket sales aren't as robust as they might be for the rest of the weekend. And I assure you, that the people who I am most interested in bringing back to the club are the ones that give as strong a show on Thursday night as they are going to be at 8 o'clock on Saturday night, when it's going to be as full as it's going to be any place in the country.
Yeah, and I would think, hopefully, you know, I don't really, I guess we don't want to call somebody out that doesn't have a good work ethic, but is there somebody?
Somebody that doesn't have a good work ethic?
Somebody that phones it in on Thursday, maybe Wednesday, Thursday, and they give you a little bit on Friday, and Saturday they kill?
Yeah, why don't you call out a comedian you've employed before?
Right,
so he
that
won't
sounds
wanna
like
come
a
back.
great idea.
Let's do it. Let's go down
Right.
this list. Was it Dave Chappelle you were
So
telling
first
us
of all,
before?
let's go alphabetically.
I would be
Start at the
hold on.
list.
No, I would be remiss if I didn't ask. I had no choice. I had to ask, so I asked.
So listen,
You don't have
Steve,
to name a
so,
name.
Okay, so first of all, Steve.
Is there anybody that currently will not come to the punchline
Okay.
because they don't like you? That was a.
I don't
Is
know.
there a burnt bridge?
I
there-
hope there aren't any burnt bridges. I mean, you know.
Who have you
if
still got? You got everybody. You got Bert Kreischer.
If Bert's coming actually to town, he just
know.
announced he's coming to Cobb Energy Center.
But, you know, and what's up with that doing such a large venue? By the way, I actually, and I'll go ahead and tell all of you this, I sent Bert a message, and I copied my lovely producer over here and co-host, Brett Barney. How you doing, honey?
I didn't know what else to say.
And I just, all right, you did really good. And I asked him if he would come on the Yeah Come On show when he's in town. He said yes. He said, of course.
Of course.
Of course.
Why wouldn't he?
I don't know. I don't know if he has legalities around his podcast.
He's a podcast maniac.
Yeah. I
Okay,
know.
so first of all, there are if you are in the content production business, You support other people who create content,
Yeah.
right?
He's
the
always
only way
been cool to
the only
me.
way the machine's going to keep moving is if we keep feeding it.
Keep feeding it. So
Right.
so why is he's doing a larger venue so you don't get him, but that's huge for Bert that he's at
It's
that level.
terrific.
I mean, that is this the first time I think
Okay,
in
so listen.
Atlanta history that he's done a bigger venue than the Punchline.
Okay, so think about it this way. If our business model was reliant on booking only the comedians who sold out shows in 1982 when we opened, we would never be able to have room for anybody that was a new comedian today. So it is a cycle. I am thrilled for people who are able to build. So think about that. You've gone from being a person who signed up at an open mic someplace to getting booked as a headliner to being able to get into smaller venues to now be able to do concerts in larger venues.
Oh, yeah.
It's a terrific success story. If you can go get the money, go get the money.
Yeah, I'm happy
Right?
for him. I just was like, damn, Bert's, and he's also lost all that weight. I'm like, what's going on? Ron White still pop in on you?
Periodically when he's in town.
When
of
he's
course,
in
he's
town.
been a longtime supporter of the club and
Loves
of course
the
of you guys.
Punchline.
And
Loves the Punchline. Good friend. I've spent a lot of personal time with him. I hate it that he had to get divorced again, and now he's moved to the West Coast. And he has a place, I think, in Arizona now, too. But he no longer lives in Georgia. It kills me. That was always a good stop. But you take a date to Ron's house, and then, the things that happen at Ron's happen. Wow. You don't even get home before somebody's disrobed.
so they're
I'm like, you do realize you're naked, and we're not even to my place yet.
oh yeah.
I mean, stop.
So listen, there have been
Trying to
many,
Still waiting on Ron's valet.
Trying to drive.
many times Ron has taken the comedian from the club on Thursday night to his place.
Oh, yeah.
And I have great trepidation.
You should not let that happen.
That they're going to be able to be at radio Friday morning.
No way. Ron sent me a note. He wrote a note saying,
yeah.
please excuse Southside
Yeah.
Steve. And I did not show up at work Friday. My mind was blown.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, he's going through and handing me these medical bottles. And I'm a blue moon pot smoker, right place, right time. I just don't smoke anymore. I don't. I'm a drinker. That's it. Not excessive, just social. But man, I got in there and I partaked. And I was like, I didn't know my name. I didn't know. I couldn't even find my car. I didn't know what I drove. I put my underwear on top of my jeans. It was horrible.
That's a rough night.
And I was like, thank you, Ron.
Yes.
And I woke up with Ron. I didn't wake up in the same bed.
Spooning? Were you big spoon
No,
or
no
little
one's
spoon?
spooning.
Big spoon,
Going,
little
yeah.
spoon.
We were all downstairs, but I woke up and I realized, Ron, why do you paint your toenails? I woke up and I see this foot that's painted, but it's a man's foot, and Ron paints his toenails black. I had no idea. It was the weirdest damn thing I ever saw.
Yeah, and you're
It's
in
like
the
a goth
feet.
girl. Yeah.
Did you get weird with Ron's feet?
I didn't get weird. No, the girl's feet. I had a girl with me.
That's always been your
A girl
thing,
with
right,
me.
Steve? You've
I'm a
always been
foot.
a
I
foot
have a huge foot fetish. What's your
Yeah.
fetish, Jamie Bendall?
Not feet.
What is your fetish?
Not feet.
How long have you been married,
We'll
Jamie
leave it at
Bendall?
that.
Not feet.
Okay. How many kids do you have, Jamie Bendall? That's great. That's awesome.
I have 3 daughters.
3 daughters.
3 daughters.
And they're athletic. I see you. You're all around town. and
I've been super
out for-
fortunate with the kids.
Yeah, they are great athletes. I see all that. And how long have you been married? I know it's
Kelly and I have been married for 19 years.
wow.
Yeah.
So you met her. What were you doing at that time?
At that time, I was not married to my wife. And
That's good.
We're going.
Yeah.
No, we're going 20 years. Then we're going back 20.
We're going back 20 years.
Were you a sports agent? Is this when you were doing the NFL sports agent thing?
So I got certified with the Players Association shortly after I got out of law school.
So you leave law school and you go to the players, and this is the NFL, I assume?
So the NFL Players Association has a class. You can take the class. There's a certification test. I took the certification test to be registered as an agent.
So now you're an agent and you can represent players.
And I did it at the time. There was a kid from the neighborhood I grew up in, used to play backyard football with him. He was in my, closer to my brother's age, and he was coming out of college and wound up playing in the NFL for a number of years. And at the time, our firm had done some other legal work for them, and so thought I'll get certified, and if there's an interest in having me represent them, I'll do it. And
Did you do it?
didn't happen that way.
Oh, damn. Did you represent anybody?
I actually had clients.
You did?
I had clients.
Anybody that Brett Barney, the sports phenom over here with?
No.
I was curious, who was the guy in the neighborhood? Can you
No.
name him or no?
It was Andre Davis.
Okay.
Went to Virginia Tech and played
no
for
idea.
the Cleveland Browns, and then
Okay.
played for the Texans, I think, after that. And whatnot. Yeah.
Show me the money!
Yeah.
Show me the money!
But so here's the great thing about it, right? And this is and Steve, if there's nothing about relatable stories to what goes on in your life, I try to provide them. Okay.
He does.
All right. So there's a
love
booklet
Jamie.
that comes out, right? It lists every agent that's certified by the NFL Players Association.
And Jamie Bendall's in there.
B is closer to the front.
Damn right.
So I would get calls from people be like, I'm looking for an agent. And my initial thought was, you have explored better options. They're at the point at which
Yo, man, I'm tired of owning bigs,
you are
man.
in the book looking for me, right? But here's what was challenging about that scenario, right?
You want to represent me, Mr. Bendall?
Okay, so first of all,
Sorry.
you're making such broad generalizations about the kind of calls that would be coming into
All right,
my office
maybe
that
it's
are
this guy.
largely inaccurate.
Hi, Jamie. My name's Johnny. I'm a kicker. Can you represent me?
Oh, the white guy can't be named
so
Tyrone.
now, listen, yeah, really.
Do you know a white guy named
Joking?
Tyrone?
No, never.
Yet no brothers want to buy his hats.
It's a mystery.
This is.
Everybody knows I'm just playing.
Have
I'm
you
harmless.
now listen, I'm not.
I love everybody.
Okay.
Do you know
Have
that
you
I'm white?
considered-
You know what I
have you
don't
considered-
like?
Have you considered rolling the hat money into maybe a show consultant? Is it possible?
That guy's head would explode half the time.
I'm glad you're on. This could be I wish you wouldn't laugh at all Jamie's shit.
That's funny though. That's funny as hell.
But just ripping. Jamie, that was touche. That was good. And that's not even touche.
Yeah,
I
that
didn't
isn't
do
even
shit.
touche.
It's not touche
Yeah,
because I
not
didn't do
touche.
shit. It's not touche.
Yeah.
It's just an attack.
It's some shade, but it's not touche.
You just shade
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
I don't have a touche back. No,
I'm hoping to get shade later.
really?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Dude, don't brag about having sex with
Yeah.
your girlfriend. That's gay.
I
Have
wasn't
sex.
talking about that.
Oh, strange?
I was hoping that when I could ask him questions, he shades me.
Oh, I thought he was getting strange.
Oh my lord.
Dude, you only brag when you're single about getting laid. Anybody that brags about having sex with their wife or girlfriend is a toolbox. You can't do that.
I wasn't even discussing sex. I didn't know. Okay, you guys shade each other. You got shaded by Jamie, so I didn't know that
he
was having
touche.
sex now.
Look, Jamie, I got to tell you, your comedy, by the way, for those that haven't seen Jamie in a while, because I've seen you over the years, you become very funny. You might become your own damn headliner.
Well, I appreciate that, Steve.
Seriously.
Yeah.
That's a serious thing.
I would say that's because your life has grown into my material.
My life?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Out of all the radio hosts
It's
in
like a
Atlanta,
roast. I love this.
I got to know.
favorite episode I've ever done. You got to come back next week.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Jamie, just come on. Jamie, out of all your radio host buddies, since you're using me in your material, which I think is fantastic, where do I stand up to you as far as impressive radio talent? Because I don't come across as a host because I don't like to get caught up in that. Coming up next on 90, I don't want to do that stuff. I just want to laugh.
Well, so look, so I think that
And be for
let's
real,
try
Jamie.
to figure out
Don't
an analogy. No, so first of all, I think
Petticoat Junction this
So as a younger guest might say, don't sleep on Southside Steve, because
You probably already slept with.
oh yeah, well that's true. There's that element. But the fact of the matter, Steve, is that
Sarah
staying-
Tiani and I almost dated. I just missed out on that. I ended up going out with a different tech or a different promo girl. I didn't know she was going to become a comedy legend.
well,
Sorry.
that's.
But she's cute. She's so cute.
And
she's married.
She
She's
was
got a
just here in
baby.
town. She's got a baby. She's doing
She
awesome.
did a comedy show pregnant. That's
Super pregnant.
fantastic.
Yeah.
God.
So when you think
and
about
great
it-
writer she is
Right.
as well. Her husband, lucky man.
For some number of months, pregnant women perform as a duo. They're not just up there by themselves. They,
Abbott and Costello.
yeah,
Yeah,
right?
but don't you think?
Abbott in utero.
Hold on. Once you're
Right.
at 6 months, back off the comedy. Hello, cigarette smoke.
Okay, so listen, Steve. You
Sorry.
may not know this. You may not know this, but women have struggled in the workplace for equality for some number of years.
No, I'm aware of that.
Yes. So to be a female comedian, you got to work, and the only way you can work is to be on stage.
So if you're
and
pregnant, you gotta get out
You got to
there.
get out and work. But that's true of all women who are in the workplace who get
All
pregnant.
right, fair
you know?
enough, fair enough. I just think with comedy, I just thought she was going to take some time off, put her feet up, and relax. But yeah, she's.
That's oftentimes after the baby arrives.
Yeah, that's true. I guess alone in the road. So back
You know
to
the ponytail's a protest for equality, right?
Yeah, oh yeah.
That's why he's had it
So where do
yeah.
you see me as an air personality? I just want to know.
Well, so what I was going to say is
you've
that,
seen radio. You've been in radio stations.
Okay,
you were actually
but-
a radio personality.
So first of all, George Stein and I had one of the greatest underrated legal advice shows.
Yes, you did.
We were on together. I think we were on for 4 or 5 years.
Yes, you were. I think it started at off WGST.
Yeah.
it did. And
We had a great time. If you've ever heard George on the radio, George is terrific.
Yeah.
We had a very good time trying to people's legal advice questions.
Which is great. I mean,
Yes.
attorneys cost money, even for that first hour everybody always jokes about. So when you got a show where you've got two attorneys that cover a pretty broad spectrum of whatever the hell's going wrong in your life, that's awesome that you'll answer things for them.
And I have to admit, 99% of my answers were, you should call a lawyer. Clearly you have a legal issue, and you should be calling a lawyer.
All right, if you killed somebody, I'm still
You should stop talking,
run.
and you should call a lawyer.
You should call a lawyer.
Yes.
And
Everything
call
that you're
the
saying right
police.
now is likely to be used against you.
turn yourself
So you should
in.
probably stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was a great show, and it was terrific. But what I was going to say is that I don't think people appreciate the fact that having longevity in radio, being on the air, particularly when your name hasn't always been the first name on the show, right?
Yeah.
It's very, very difficult to have a career as long as your career has been, which I would argue is a testament to the fact that you're good at what you do.
Thank you. I hope y'all are listening, Cumulus. I'm talking to management right now. What's up? Just trying to get a raise.
I don't think they're listening.
They are. Cumulus.
They might be
Raise.
listening, Steve.
might be.
Probably that
Speak
somebody
louder.
listening.
I love the people I work with. No, I do. I love doing it, and
But it's a business that's changed, right?
No, I'm
You
okay.
can't be static and
No.
be successful.
No.
You've got to embrace, right? You kind of.
I get a lot of love too, and from people. And they don't know how much it means to me, and I never anticipate an autograph or picture or just somebody saying hi. I'm always like blown away and like, man, that was so nice.
Yeah, it's great. It's
But
great
there
to
are
be
some
out there,
people
be.
that expect it, and I'm just not one of those guys. Do you expect it? Do you expect it?
Expect which?
The love that you should get for being all of these things. I mean, I can't believe.
No,
Have
no,
you
no.
looked
I've
at your
been-
life going
so first of
comedian,
all-
comedy writer,
Hold on a
lawyer,
second.
realtor,
Listen,
EMC,
For me,
Coach, father.
Yeah, what? Okay, so listen.
owner of the
Steve,
Punchline.
Steve, you have a child now, right?
Yeah, I do.
Right?
He's
and
2.5 years
you love
old.
that child,
Yeah.
right? You are.
I cry almost every night.
You listen. You wear your emotion for your child on your sleeve.
I love him.
Right, Brooks.
Love-
It's
I
like
love you, Brooks.
Is everything for you right
He is.
now.
He is.
And so for
That's why
me,
I don't get much out of bread anymore.
from a professional perspective,
Sorry.
listen. But that's a little bit of a you thing, less of a him thing.
I got you. Thank you for coming on, Jamie. You're helping me so much.
I feel like I'm watching a therapy session.
up.
It's like a roast meets
Right,
therapy.
roast meats. Yeah, this is it. Yeah.
Roast-a-pee. I don't know what you call it.
Yeah.
It's a, yeah.
Jamie will
Gross.
come on again and talk about himself, I promise.
But no, honest to goodness, Steve, right? The fact of the matter is that I made the decision that I was going to organize my professional life around what were things that were personally important to me. And so I wanted to be able to have the time to be, able to coach and be at the recitals and do all those kinds of things.
So you don't
And I've
miss
been
you don't
fortunate.
miss much.
Well, because I've chosen during this time period to be available to do that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
At some point, they'll be gone from the house. My day will start to look a little bit differently. I'll pursue different activities at that time. But for this time period, which is somewhat finite, I'm going to be all in on being around for the kids and the girls and
Out
whatnot.
of everything that you've accomplished in your life and everything that you've done, and I'm going to turn it over to you to ask a couple questions. Don't look at me that way. I hate it when you do. It actually turns me on in a weird
Terrifying.
way. Yeah, it was terrifying. It's like the last person you'll see when you're in a basement with a dirty tennis ball in your mouth.
It's quite a visual.
Sorry. I don't know where I went with that. But to you,
Honestly, it's an interesting way to phrase it.
Yeah, thank
right?
you.
Because it's the last person you will see.
I'll ever
But
see.
it's likely to be the last person who will see you.
Oof. Yeah. That, unless you left me whole somewhere on the side of the road where people could see me and I could have a normal burial, but if you chop me up and dispose of me, that sucks because nobody gets to see me.
All right,
ever.
Steve, let's ask that question.
Okay.
I want to know that. Okay. How do you have, I'm assuming you have some music service that you subscribe to?
Sure.
Okay. Do you have playlists on that?
Sure. I have what I call my last 2 hours.
Your
which
last
means
2 hours?
My last 2 hours. If the world was ending and I had 2 hours left, the last music I'd listen to.
Okay. Did you set it out in order, the last 2 hours, how you want them to hear musically, or are you comfortable with that list being unshuffled?
No, I'm currently okay with it being unshuffled. I did put some of my favorite songs up front just in case the world ends early.
But if it's unshuffled, they may not go first.
It's a
You do
Journey shuffle,
understand
let's
that.
be honest.
It's a Journey shuffle.
Journey's greatest hits. I mean, we all know the secret.
Don't stop
The
believing.
wheel in the sky.
Keeps on turning.
All right, but so do you have does it say Apocalypse playlist? Do you name
No,
it?
it says
like,
my last 2 hours.
My last 2 hours, is that what it's called? Mm-hmm. Okay.
I thought it was cute.
Yeah, well, and then that's the only one?
Yeah.
So you just play that all the time?
I do. I just go through all my music all the time, but if I'm in a mood where I need to. God, the last 2 hours.
I knew that would sidetrack.
God dang. Journey, the greatest rock and roll band of all time.
All right, so then
Steve Perry, Neil Sean, Jonathan Cain, Steve Smith. I think the list goes on. What?
Do you have a top 5 list of Journey tribute bands that you would prefer to see if you were going to rank them from first to worst?
No, I like Departure and Frontiers. Those are the only two I've ever seen. I like both. No, was it Departure? And I think maybe it was Frontiers, a band called Frontiers. Yeah.
All right, so that's how you
Those two.
rank. And anybody else, you'd be
I like
like
Departure.
I don't know that I'm in.
Yeah, I don't know that I'm in. Yeah, there's bands. I like because, I mean, obviously I don't have my lead singer. I wish I did in my favorite band, but my band continues to tour. They're coming with the Pretenders here to Atlanta. Looking forward to that in 2020. But I still like it because the guy sounds like Steve Perry. So I suspend disbelief by not like watching him. I kind of look at him through my fingers.
Don't they all kind of sound like Steve Perry, though?
They try. They try.
Yeah,
but this guy
don't they
really.
get kind of close?
No, what is his name? Pineda, Chacon, whatever his name is. He
Doesn't sound like it?
He sounds like that, but he does really good. I mean, the guy's chorus is spot on. It is Steve Perry. He nails it.
Do you think if he did really bad, they would hire him?
No.
Okay, I'm just.
But they've had 3 others. He's not the first. He's the 4th.
Well, but
is that
by
the
the time you've
Filipino
made it
guy?
on stage with the band, you pretty much sound like the guy.
Yeah. All
Right?
I'll give you that.
In fairness?
Arneda.
Arnel Pineda.
Damn it.
Close enough.
You know who I'm talking about. Arnell. Okay. Back to the question I wanted to ask you, and
All right.
I like the sidetrack on Journey.
Okay.
I just want to know, out of everything you've done, what's your favorite thing?
All right, so
Out of everything, because you have a lot. So, I mean, what makes Jamie Bendall truly happy? Is it realtor, attorney, being an MC, entrepreneur, owning a comedy club? What?
All right, so I would make the suggestion that all of those things essentially share the same element, right?
Ooh, you'll have to tell me that.
Yeah. So in my capacity as a lawyer, our practice is a personal injury practice primarily. And the way our system works, and this
Good,
is true.
because I could trip my ass coming out of
Okay,
here right
but no,
now.
but so check this out. The system doesn't actually require you to have a lawyer.
Oh.
Right? So you can go into court and represent yourself. That's true in a civil context. It's true in a criminal context. You're allowed to be your own lawyer. Most people don't have any interaction with the court system whatsoever. In a personal injury context, nobody calls a personal injury lawyer with good news, right? Nobody
Yo,
calls
man.
and goes, surgery went exactly the way it was supposed to, and says, oh my God, the product didn't explode in a way that was unexpected, right?
I'm limping, man.
Right?
I'm limping.
Right? They all call with bad news.
Always.
They have the option in this one opportunity that they have to make that situation right. And they're choosing not to go and speak for themselves, and they're instead saying, I want you to speak for me.
Okay.
I want you to be the person who goes and advocates on my behalf.
I'm taking 30%. More? 40%. Half.
Keeps climbing.
60%. I was like 60-40. We're going to get there. 2/3.
I'm taking 70%. You're lucky to get anything.
I love how he's just got this look on his face like, are you done?
All right, Jamie, I'm done.
Are you done, Steve?
I'm done.
Have you finished?
I love you, Jamie Bendall. Go.
Right?
Yes.
But truly, the responsibility of saying, I'll go be that advocate for you, and I will try to bring resolution to that situation.
Sure.
Right? Being there to try
Understood.
to help resolve that for somebody.
Understood.
In the context of the comedy club, I sell laughter. Right? I'm trying to get you. I mean, honestly, I'm selling laughter. That's what my product is. I sell laughter.
Sounds like a
Yo,
clown.
man. Hi, my name's Jamie Bendall. I sell laughs.
Yes, but it's basically saying I'm going to take you out of whatever negative thing that was going on in your life and putting you in a different place.
Is your
Just
wife
like-
leaving you? Does your penis not work? I'm Jamie Bendall. I sell laughs. Sorry. I just thought of 2 bad things. I apologize.
Okay, you're targeting markets that are fairly narrow.
Okay, sorry.
Okay.
Erectile dysfunction night. Selling laughs.
There's not many ladies in there that night.
How you guys doing? What's up? By the way, the handicap spots are full.
Sorry, I don't even know what to tell you.
He's off the leash.
Usually I'm the
It is
jackass
Steve-
on the show.
It is Steve
This is awesome.
Unchained.
He's a pit
This
bull.
is,
Pit
so
bull
here's
off
what's
the
going to
leash.
happen. Here's what my prediction is.
My son's been
This
sick
episode,
for 2 days. I need to laugh.
So
Sorry.
this episode, is likely never to be posted. And instead, there's going to be a guestless episode that's posted, and this is going to become the lost episode.
No.
The one that is never
this is
heard,
getting posted.
and this is
No.
completely
I'm loving all this.
off the-
Jamie, you were so much better than Cut 13. You are brilliant, and you're so brilliant. Did you answer me? Is being an attorney your favorite thing?
He said they're all equal. Jesus.
I just said there are through line.
No,
them,
but
which
there's
is
always
basically
no.
helping people.
There's
Yeah.
always one. There's always one. There's something you like doing. It's either
Probably
putting.
being a father. We get it.
Oh, that was a dickish move. You really want to get?
I hear it from you every week.
Okay, I
Is
love
that
being
your favorite job? Is
I
your
love
favorite-
being. I
it
love
should be
being
your
a
favorite
dad.
job.
I
right?
do. But,
and by the way, it's a job you're not supposed to quit.
yeah, I love it. I love that job. But I just think out of everything, I think it's kind of cool. I think that you're the happiest from my knowing you, and I think you're very good at everything that you do. But I think being on stage in your own club probably makes you the happiest from a business point of view, taking family out of it.
No, I've been actually really fortunate in terms of telling. I do like the challenge of saying, how do I put these words, this idea in combination, and pull something that's supposed to be a surprise out of somebody.
Sure.
Right? Because there's nothing worse than going, let me tell you a joke, and you physically feel your body tense up and be like, oh God, what are they about to say? So the surprise element of laughter to me is always the neatest pursuit. Like, can I get you, whomever, some stranger to laugh? I've had the great good fortune to be on some really cool stages and be on some shows with some really awesome people. I've donated a tremendous amount of time over the years to charitable organizations that are doing their fundraisers and whatever. And so it's leveraging that stuff to basically go, let me choose to use this quirky talent that I have to turn words into something that comes out of your body in a way to raise money for other people.
There you go.
Yeah, so being at the club is neat, but being someplace else, putting it to a good cause is
And
better.
my last quickie, and you're up, Brett Barney, my co-host, who wants to ask you a couple of questions. Atlanta and Company, how did that come about? Because that's something I guess I would have to be not doing what I do, but I would love to be a guest
I
on there.
am going to suggest to you that you don't submit this episode as an audition.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's going to go.
Are you saying cut?
No, I'm not. I'm not saying that.
Did we just say cut?
No, there is no cut.
Nobody ever says cut here.
No, there is no cut.
We play it. We don't. This is never censored unless somebody uses God's name in vain, and then I edit it. I got that going for me.
Is there like a?
Off switch? No.
No,
I've been
yeah,
looking for months.
yeah. There's a. Is there? Many of us.
These lights are so bright. Go ahead. Jamie, by the way, I love your makeup from Atlanta and Company.
Yeah, this is my natural ruddiness, Steve. There's.
Hi,
no,
can you make me up? Go Irish. No,
Was you in Notre Dame
Now what are you
fan now?
saying? Are you saying I'm pale
I
and
look like
peaked
a
looking?
drunk Irishman.
I agreed to put on the hat. It's if you're looking at the picture
To help him sell a couple.
it's unflattering, right? I mean, it's not
I agreed to put on a hat.
right.
I love that. He did. I asked him. I gave it to him.
I said,
went
yeah.
down to the truck.
So do you want me to put it on later or put it on now? Put it on now. And honestly, kind of from the open song, which I didn't know any of the lyrics to.
Oh my
I
God,
thought,
that was Thunder. Love Walks In.
Yeah, it's not something that's walked in on me previously. So
Do you know I played that
was-
at my wedding with my wife, and when I asked her to marry me,
I didn't
had
get
it
an invite
played.
to the wedding. I mean, I know, despite the closeness.
By the way, 75. That's all I got, and I have a family that's over
listen,
100.
Steve,
I would have loved to have given you Larry Wax's ticket.
cannot tell you how many times you have stopped me after bringing one of the comedians into the studio and said, dude, you are in my top 78.
Yeah. You just missed.
You are 76.
You are so close.
Everybody, for the record, I
So
love Jamie
close.
Bendall, and he's done a lot for me. That's why he's on this show.
You were 3
By-
cancellations away.
If
By the way,
I
you're-
could have gotten rid of some of the plus ones, you're in.
You would have. Damn it. And
Couple
if I didn't,
breakups, yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
By the way, you're going to be a return guest. We've only tossed that out to a couple people, but I'd love to have you back on again. Go ahead, real quick, Brett Barney, and make this.
The funny thing is, I actually wrote more serious questions. That's usually me that's the idiot, and him that's a little bit more serious. If you could change,
I am serious. It's just I got in here with you and I got giddy.
It's fine.
know what?
It's all
he's
good.
never acted like this before.
No, it's
No,
great.
because you know what it is?
We've had
you're
major
apologizing.
celebrities in here.
No,
Larry
I-
Wax, John Rocker.
Yeah, people have been in.
Brian Finneran.
Yeah.
I love Jamie. Go.
If you could change one thing about the Atlanta comedy scene, what would it be?
Steve Rickman's influence in it.
I'm going to go do a guess. How's everybody doing? Yeah, come on. Tonight we're going to talk about conquering 419 women. What's up?
I've heard the big issue is that it's not very connected between Well, certain different clubs. As you were saying earlier, like if you live up in Woodstock now, there's stuff you could do up in Woodstock that has become less connected over the years. That's what I've heard from comedians that I know.
Okay, so here's what I would suggest, broadly speaking, right? What is interesting to me about comedy is that it is fundamental. Anybody who wants to make money off of their artistic talents has to, at some point, be fundamentally entrepreneurial, right? You have to figure out how to turn your talent into money. That's the bottom line. And if you don't have access to audience, you have to create access. So it's why if you're not getting up at a particular room or a particular space, you go to the bar next door and you go, you have a place, can we do a comedy night here? And then you go to wherever. And so there is kind of this growth and dynamic element to it. So right now, if you're a comedian who's newer into the business, either by age or experience, you have innumerable opportunities to get up on stage and then work to get better. The challenge is the get better part. You at some point have to make a commitment to say, and I'm in the minority on this, the audience isn't wrong. People laugh when you say something to them that resonates and is funny.
How are you in the minority with that? I think that's common sense.
So usually when people start writing comedy, they will frequently write something on a piece of paper and they'll think that's funny. And then they will go tell it to an audience and the audience disagrees. Well, at the end of the day, that's the person who's supposed to be laughing, not you, the person who's telling the joke. So it's not saying that the premise is wrong. It's not saying, but if you're loyal to the words that you wrote the first time you wrote something down, you're just going to make the path longer than you need it to be. So the way I tell a joke is in some respects like a musical instrument, and it takes a while to learn how to play your instrument. And then once you learn how to play your instrument, it's natural for a lot of times comedians to sound like, right? How many bands, when you first start in a band, you play other people's music.
You do covers.
And you learn how to play other people's songs. And it takes time to learn how to write your own song. And then it takes time to learn how to write your own song that sounds good that anybody else wants to listen to. Well, comedy is really no different. So you got to go to places, and unfortunately, sometimes if you're outside of a club, outside of a place that regularly does comedy, let's say that, you're not seeing people in an opportunity where your material is likely to always succeed, right? So it's easier to tell a joke in front of people that bought ticket to see comedy at a comedy club than it is for free at a pizza place and the Falcons game is on behind you, right? It's just more challenging, right? Okay. So it has nothing to do with the performer per se. It's just a little bit of the environment that makes the road a little bit longer.
Got it.
Well, you were talking about writing jokes, and somehow we have not discussed this at all. You're a clean comic, which I think is probably one of the absolute most difficult things you can do in comedy because it's very easy to go blue and to be dirty and to be this and that. And I would say probably 90% of comedians aren't clean. Would you agree?
I would say there are fewer. There is less, and of course, clean is always a matter of degree, right? So it's
define your clean. I want to know how clean you are. Is that zero cuss words or zero innuendos? Or what?
I kind of break it down. Is it subject matter clean or is it language clean? So I can be very profane in the way that I talk about things that are subject matter not dirty at all, and that's kind of the differentiation, right? So I think most of the magic of comedy is not when I plug into the joke, but when the audience plugs into the joke. When you're relating to something, it's because you identify with the experience that the person's going through. If I construct a joke too tightly, right, and I would analogize it to like when you're putting together a puzzle. Right, you flip.
I thought you were gonna do rolling a joint. The way your fingers are going.
Flipping over puzzle pieces.
That's Jamie Bendall. He's clean.
Yeah, you're flipping over puzzle pieces. You can
probably a tight joint.
You construct the puzzle the way it's supposed to be, but ultimately you as the audience member hold a piece that has to go into the puzzle someplace. And if I leave you holding your puzzle piece, it's not a joke that you're going to identify with. So I try to write my jokes in a way that make them versatile enough that I can tell it at a comedy club, I could be at a corporate event, I could be at wherever it is, and it allows me to be flexible and ultimately more employable. Because in the end, I'd like to make money.
So profanity, just in general, do you use it in your act usually, or do you?
I rarely.
Like PG-13 movie, you get one F-bomb.
Very rarely anymore.
I don't think I've ever heard you do it.
What's the dirtiest joke you've ever come up with?
There was this
dirtiest joke that I've ever come up with.
priest-
Or you've ever used. I don't like come up with one thing,
Yeah.
but to actually use it.
a priest and a Jewish guy walked into a bar with a lion. It gets weird. Sorry, I apologize.
So I would be open to, Steve. I'll do this. I'll make an agreement with you.
Let's please.
Okay. I'll make two versions of the agreement. I would
This
like
lawyer coming out.
I would like
I
you-
love Steve. There's going to be three versions. One you're going to like.
well, both I think you should find
Okay.
appealing.
All right.
Okay. I want you to write a comedy set.
Okay.
Right? I want you to write what you think would be a successful stand-up set.
How long?
Let's go with
5 minutes.
Let's go with 3
5 minutes.
minutes.
Okay, 3,
We'll go
that's-
with 3 minutes, right? Okay. And then, based on what you've written, I will perform what you wrote.
Oh my God.
Oh, wait, time
that's
out.
Awesome.
Time out. Can I take this a step further?
Let me finish with the other.
Okay, you
'cause
go.
there's a
You go.
second
Then I'm
part.
going to add something on.
Okay. Depending on what you write,
I'll make it clean.
I will find someone else to perform the material. So if it's something that I feel comfortable saying, I'll say it. But if it's I'm not putting this recorded anyway.
Okay.
But we'll find a night. We will perform your set at the club.
Okay.
And we will bring back the comedian performing them.
Can
That-
we?
I can't believe.
Can we
I'm selling laughs here, not booze.
Can we record it though and put it on one of our shows?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay,
so
yeah,
I'm
as long
saying,
as it
so
can be
yeah,
put
yeah,
on this
that's what I
show.
mean. So I'm saying you write it. You
Okay.
think
A
I think
comedy
this
set.
is going to work, right?
All right, I think-
I won't. So that way it doesn't have to be backed up by your persona or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
This is material that I think would make strangers laugh.
Strangers. People have no idea.
It's just
Who I am
We'll
or-
get
yeah,
we'll get
got
a
it.
comedian to perform it. You can write it in whatever person. You can talk about if it's relationship stuff. If it's whatever, and if it's people of
What if
faith
it
and a
kills?
variety of
What if it kills?
You should be proud.
Oh, it's gonna
And that'd be
bomb.
awesome. What?
You can go
We'll
work for
never
a late
know.
night show.
We will never know until
There's
we do
one
it.
way to find out.
There's one way
Yeah.
to do it.
If it kills, do you hire me as a writer or performer, or what happens next? I don't even know.
This becomes a crisis of conscience for you.
Yeah.
Do you embrace your potential career as
My
a
wife-
stand-up comedian?
My wife doesn't want me to travel. That's one reason why I haven't pursued doing something like that. But
I think there's other reasons, but it's,
From Alpharetta to Buckhead's not that much travel.
Oh.
Right?
Do you not think I could be up there? Basically, what I would love if
we
I,
actually do a local show right here in
yeah,
Alpharetta.
if I
mean,
got
it's
up
a
on
poster. You can do a
stage, I
show.
would like to play off the audience. In other words, I play off it like it's when you're at a party or something. I love it when people say something, and then I take it and run with it and make it funny. But it's like I'm feeding off of people.
We need to lay something down. Does the audience know that
Say
what
something,
the
I'll feed
comedian
off
is doing the act is Southside Steve's?
No, we're just going to do
So
it.
we're just doing it.
We're
so
just
they're
doing it.
blind to it. Because
They're
if you put
blind to it.
Southside up there and people know who he is, they might laugh
That's what I
at
mean.
him just because of
no,
who he
I'm
is.
saying
Well, I
this
would
is-
want them to laugh.
This is a true blind comedy test. You
All right.
write it,
Tyler,
we'll perform it.
Tyler, you want just-
No, it has to be
Tyler,
someone with an actual voice.
Yeah, somebody that's will.
You got some
do it. I
good.
don't
You got
care.
some good openers, or
Yeah.
somebody could perform my material. All right,
Good delivery. Yeah.
All right.
I only have a few left that I was just kind of curious about. Have you ever sold a joke to another comedian? And what's the going rate on that?
I have actually written quite a bit of comedy material for corporate executives. So I write jokes for people to tell at their awards dinner all the time.
well,
So
Yeah.
do they contact? So they
Yeah, yeah.
contact you, and
they-
then there's a fee.
Yep, and
There has to be a fee.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
And we talk on the phone. I tell me what are the comedians that you like because I want to know what the style of humor that appeals to them. I would say, okay, is that how other people would say you're funny? Depending on who the person is, I like to talk to somebody else in their office to get a sense of what's their reputation for humor. Are they super straight-laced? Are they, whatever? And then I want to know a bit about their industry, so I'll go and I'll research, what exactly is going on because I like to have industry-based.
Well, that's a lot
material.
of time. Like if you were doing something for, say, a vice president at Georgia Pacific, which my father-in-law is, he has
Yeah.
to make speeches. You would look up because that's a little.
I'd be on the phone. I would probably spend 30 minutes on the phone with you just talking about some comedy stuff.
Okay.
I would then, depending, obviously Georgia Pacific, I would know something a little bit more about than,
They sell paper.
yeah, but I mean, there's
Toilet
sometimes,
paper jokes?
whatever. But if there's
Let's
something
talk
that's
about
going
what
on,
kind of
or there's a
toilet paper
merger,
you
yeah,
use.
and I would talk about why are you guys getting together, and sometimes whatever it is, and then I'll write a first draft of jokes and send them to them and go, are we close or on the mark? And then they'll send it back for other notes, and I love doing that. That's awesome.
Okay, cool.
But have you ever had where, say, Ron White was there with a comedian that he took home on a Thursday night who was an opening act or something, and be like, "Hey, I really like this one joke that you did. I'll give you $15,000 for it."
So I had no. So not.
It had to
if
be a
that was the case,
killer
I'd do that
joke.
more. Yeah. But there's a lot of times.
Well,
where
there's
you-
been times where people have done that in the
Totally.
history of comedy.
Oh, totally.
It's not
yeah,
uncommon.
Yeah. I'm just not in that circumstance where I've had an opportunity to sell a joke like that. There have been jokes where there have been instances where I've come up with a joke and I go, oh, that joke is a really good joke. It has no place to go in my set. It's not at all, how I sound on stage, but I know this person could totally use it, and I'll call them and be like, hey, do you think that this actually could work for you? And there's been times where somebody says, can I use that? And I'm like, just tell me how it worked.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's nice of you to give it away like that. That's pretty awesome.
That's why he has to work 10 jobs.
Right? Yeah.
He's giving all this stuff away for free.
Yeah.
I don't know how true this is or not. I was reading some stuff, stalking you, doing some research. Your first open mic night, I saw that it said
Comedy Act Theater.
Yeah, you performed with fellow amateurs, Don Curry, who, if people don't know, is
DC.
Uncle Elroy from Next Friday.
Yep.
And you were with Bruce.
Yep.
Do you ever stay in touch with any of the people from that? Their careers have been crazy.
Yeah. So it was the best. It was honestly the best experience I would argue the best experience that I could have ever had starting doing stand-up comedy. I wanted to be an extra in movies, so I was in college. I was at Emory. There were, I think, Free Jack and some other movies that were being filmed in Atlanta at that time period. And I thought, God, I'd love to be an extra in movies. I knew no idea about how to do that. But
Dude, you could have met Mick Jagger on that one.
right? So
And Emilio Estevez.
So there used to be a time when Creative Loafing was a thicker newspaper.
Well, I remember, and you could see it right outside $3 Cafe when you actually had to wait to get a table.
Right, and
huge.
and then they'd always have pictures for photographers and headshots and whatever. So I'd call up one of these people that had an ad in the back of Creative Loafing. Down I go as a college student with my 3 outfits and blah, 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 and whatever it is, and to get a bunch of pictures made, and total scam.
Really?
Total scam.
Oh.
And as a college student, I didn't have a budget that could withstand a photography scam. So I was
Cleaned out,
I was chastened. It was not good. So I thought there's got to be some other way that I could get to be an extra in movies. And I thought I'm going to try stand-up comedy. So I looked in the yellow pages, looked up comedy clubs, called the Punchline, called the Funny Bone, which was there at the time in
Isn't that
Buckhead.
great? He calls the Punchline to ask about comedy nights, later to become an owner of the Punchline.
Yeah, so I had no idea. I didn't know the language. I didn't know what amateur night or open mic or whatever. And then the last place that I called was the Comedy Act. And they said, well, we have it tonight. Sign up is at 7 o'clock, and you'll get a spot and you'll go up. So I thought, great, I'm going to go. So I went.
What did you bring with you?
Nobody. I went totally by myself, got in
See,
the car, went down to the
I
Comedy
need
Act.
5 friends out
Nope.
there. I need one table that's going to last.
Some plants.
No,
and yeah.
I called my father, and at
Dad, I'm
5 o'clock
doing
in the
it.
afternoon. I'm like, so this is what I think I'm going to do tonight. Do you have any thoughts or suggestions or whatever? And he gave me some thoughts and suggestions, and I went down to the club and went in, and it's a business. There's a restaurant. They're trying to get the place ready. There's nobody there. People are working, doing whatever. I sit down at the table. And I got my little notepad, and I'm trying to come up with what I'm going to write for the night. And I noticed the table tent where they have the drink specials and all the rest of it says Comedy Act Theater, Atlanta's premier Black Comedy Club. And I thought,
You were so white.
that's.
I kind of thought it was interesting when I looked at the people on the list. I was
Yeah.
like, Curry,
Yeah.
Bruce.
Yeah.
Well, it was some more.
Some more chocolate. It was. Yeah.
I was like, oh man.
Yeah.
Showtime
No,
at the
out of place.
Apollo.
Yeah.
It was, and I have to tell you,
He was at the Apollo. That's
It
exactly
was-
it.
I got one laugh out of the 3
Wait, the
minutes
whole
that I was there.
night?
Right, I got one laugh.
That's great.
And I loved it. And the other guys that were there and the other comics were terrific. And that was in November. It was like around this time of year. Went back 2 more times, and then was on the train at Atlanta Hartsfield going home for Thanksgiving. And between the terminals, some woman comes up to me and she says, "Excuse me, are you a stand-up comedian?" And I'm like, well, yeah, as a matter of fact, I am a stand-up comedian. And she says, I've seen you before. You're not that good. But you,
That guy that ate shit.
yeah,
Baby, you need to quit.
but you should stick with
Honey.
it. And so,
Honey, you need to try harder.
yeah. But here's the crazy thing, and this is the honest to God's truth. What I came to realize was there were comedians who were only going up and doing open mics at the Punchline, because the Punchline also had an open. So both places had open mic on Tuesday nights. You didn't always get on the list at the Punchline, but you really could always get on the list at Comedy Act, right? So the nights would go longer, but you were always going to get up. Almost without exception, I never saw any of the comedians that were performing with me that were amateurs going down to Comedy Act trying to get up, and almost never did I see the other acts from the Comedy Act trying to get up at the Punchline, which to me was crazy.
Yeah,
because
they're picking one club over the other.
well, but the reality is funny, right? So it kind of goes back to that instrument thing. Earthquake, Don Curry, some more are Bruce, amazingly talented comedians, right? Terrifically talented. It doesn't matter where you came from or how you grew up or whatever. They are master performers crushing it on stage, right? You just got to go be in front of people and be funny. So for me, the lesson that I learned is go be funny. Don't think I need to be this way at this club or that way at that club. Just go be yourself. Go be funny. People will laugh. Yeah.
There you go.
Also,
in closing, almost.
yeah. Well, this one's off topic. While I was stalking you, I noticed that you'd written an article about a fight at a 7-year-old youth baseball game.
Yes.
And I actually found this very interesting because I umpire youth baseball. It's a big part of my life. It's been for a long time. You said
So you
nobody
judge.
over the age of 24 should be getting punched in the face nor punching another person in the face. What do you think about the Popeye's chicken sandwich?
Okay, so first of all, how about that poor guy getting
Stabbed to death over a chicken
Right.
sandwich.
So unless
By the way, he's dead now.
which is awful. So
Yeah, he actually died.
Let's hope that he got buried with a sandwich, right? Because that
in
is
line for a sandwich and lost your life
Yeah.
for cutting in line.
I mean, there are so
Unbelievable.
But so it's a great. So first of all, most parents need to really relax when it comes to youth sports, right?
Oh, totally.
I
And
completely
at some
agree.
point, listen, I'm going to tell anybody, certainly who's in the room here with me, but anybody who's maybe listening that's a close friend of Steve's. God love us all when Brooke starts playing sports.
Yeah.
Okay.
He won't be very
Because
good.
no.
Oh, he's actually-
like
So
son.
first of all,
Dude, he's a good
gonna
athlete.
He's probably likely to be awesome.
By the
And
way, I was a good athlete, dick.
no matter how good he is, he's going to be better in his parents' eyes.
Yeah.
Right? So, so I do think that your kids are young once, right? They really only have these childhood experiences, and the best memories that you take from youth sports. Oftentimes, I can remember neat hits, I can remember awesome plays, but really, it's the time in the car back and forth. It's all of that other stuff.
In
that
their
kinda goes into
uniform,
it,
going
right?
to eat afterwards, getting ice cream because they
Yeah.
got a hit.
Right? Because at some point, they're going to be gone from your house. They're going to be someplace else living their lives. And those opportunities that you have to be with them are gone. So if you reach the point where you say, I am an adult, I am theoretically paying my bills. I'm figuring out how to put a roof over my head. I'm making a car payment. I'm managing whatever my household debt is. And I find myself on a Saturday afternoon, fist clenched, in between a fence, and there's a bunch of 8-year-olds watching me do this because my kid batted in the wrong number, or an umpire called a ball that should have been a strike, or a strike that should have been a ball, or a person that was
He was
safe
safe
could have
'cause
been
he was
out.
off the bat,
Right,
yeah.
like the point at which where you go, I'm actually going to now physically make contact with some other person in an environment where, let's face it, I have no idea what's on that person or in their vehicle or whatever it is, and you go, it's just insanity to me that we've reached this place where we can't manage those experiences in such a way that it doesn't result in.
Well,
us fighting
emotions are
us.
completely out of whack. People right now are acting on emotions in not good sense. I
Yeah.
mean, you see it in politics right now. You see it in, in our country, and you definitely see it in sports. And it blows my mind too. I don't ever want to be. First off, my wife would kill me. I don't have a wife. There are wives out there. Give them hell, honey. Go get them, baby. My wife.
I've seen them.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Pushton County.
But I have.
Yeah.
And they don't all necessarily have an accent.
No, they don't. That was
Yeah.
bad. Honey, go kill him. You know, I just want to take it up a notch. But I'll tell you, my wife, I realized that I was marrying a very sane individual that would make me a better person. So I'm like, thank God, because she would kill me if I acted on my
But you're in the
emotions.
moment, right? And what drives that? My perspective on what drives that is this fear that there's loss of opportunity, that somehow this game is the determining game that's going to determine
Whether they go to
advance,
college
do they go,
or pro.
do they whatever. And
Yeah.
so it's natural as a parent to want our kids to be successful.
There was an agent here tonight, honey.
Yeah, but so
That was a ball, damn it.
and again, you know, your number one job, right, is to manage risk for your child.
Sure.
Right? You want to not have that child experience unnecessary pain.
don't
There's
wanna-
some pain that's necessary in life, right? But we
Yes.
want to limit unnecessary pain.
If I can stop it, I will.
If I can stop it, I will.
Sure.
Right? And so the idea that somehow now the flip side of that is that when it gets at that travel level and whatnot, when you've spent 2
It actually
weeks,
it's better at the travel level, in my opinion.
it does get better in the travel. But
parents
although
have
there's
a more
weird,
realistic expectation.
That's right.
And they understand the game better.
And they should be understanding the game better.
Does that
right?
cost more, or is it just
It costs more. Absolutely
It costs
a lot more.
It costs more.
the travel level?
Yeah.
Very much.
But
These
so
traveling
sometimes,
teams.
but so the flip side of that is to say, look, so we've been fortunate. Some of my daughters have played at the travel level, and we've played it a number of years, and it isn't free, and it does come with some expense, and both from being in the office or out, and loss of opportunity to do other stuff. You know, some Saturday it'd be great to be on the lake instead of in Houston on a softball field, right? But I'm there because that's where my daughter is.
Playing some
and I'm
round
willing to
robin,
be-
and then
Yeah.
you got to be back at 7 a.m.
Right,
Sunday
7
morning.
a.m. and we're going to be doing that this weekend, and I'm looking forward to it, right? And I'm excited about that.
About to say, I see your social media. I see you doing that a lot.
We do that a lot, and
Do you see my likes?
yeah, I do, and I appreciate them, right?
Because I know Jamie's No, I'd like all. Because I'm like, he's putting himself out there. He's putting
you
his
gotta
kids. He's
be-
going through it.
You got to be real out there, right? But if at the end of that process you said, I'm going to invest $10,000 in my daughter being a second baseman, or I'm going to invest $10,000, which is easy to do over the course of a kid's youth travel career, and having them be a second baseman in the hope that I'm going to see that money back in forms of a scholarship or whatever it is, then let me make this suggestion. Invest $10,000 in a tutor.
Yeah.
You're going to get that money back sooner,
Yeah,
right? And you'll be able to be on the lake on a Saturday.
There you
right?
go.
So if you're making the investment on the condition that I'm supposed to see a return of investment of a scholarship or whatever, you're likely to probably wind up more disappointed than not.
Agreed.
And have more conflict with your child in the driveway than you need to.
And one exceeds the age of 22, probably.
Right. Yeah.
So-
Yeah, that's a good point.
Anyway, all right.
I was going to ask you for advice real quick because I know you write comedy. I came up with this prank in the office yesterday. I didn't even realize or intend for it to be a prank. You've been at radio stations. You've worked at radio stations. For some reason, somebody dumped like a bunch of Rambo posters in our break room, which obviously means if it's in the break room on the table, fair game. Anybody can grab them. Nobody was making any moves on these. So I was
It's
heating up
for
some-
the movie Rambo:
Yeah,
Last
it's
Blood.
the new Rambo
Which
movie.
has been out longer than you should be posting a poster.
but it's
Well,
the-
they've just been like sitting
No.
on this table.
That's what I mean. At some point,
Nobody's taking it.
Right, Jamie. I did a charity run. Literally, it was called "Start Before You Finish." Finish before you start. That's what it was. The time change. I'm out at running a 5K at 1:50 in
that.
the morning. You saw
Yeah.
that? Well, we're handing out headbands. The bands, because Sylvester Stallone is known for tying the Rambo headband, and we're giving that away and these posters. So it literally is the end of the year. We don't have a lot to give away, and I think the station finally, because I complained, I think they said let's just put them on the break room table and get rid of them.
Yeah,
And
let people at the office take
let
them.
people at the
Wants them.
office take them home.
And what happens is they sit there for an entire week. Nobody
Right.
takes them.
Yep.
They just get thrown away, right? You've
Yep.
seen this
I've
before.
been there, done that.
So I was heating up my food. The poster's just sitting right there. I take out my phone. I Google Sylvester Stallone's autograph. I looked at it. He's got 4 different autographs. I went and grabbed a silver marker, grabbed 10 posters on the bottom, signed them all S. Stallone. Stuck them right there next to it. Wait about an hour or two. All of a sudden, the whole office is freaking out. We have found 10 posters in here that have been autographed personally by Sylvester Stallone. People are taking them. One guy grabbed 3 of them. He's texting all his friends. He's going home to buy a frame to hang it in his bedroom.
Okay.
All these people, they still to this day right now believe that they have all taken home Sylvester Stallone's autograph, and it is mine. What is my next move?
What a dick.
Everybody's on eBay and
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah,
No,
the one guy's
trying
trying
to
to sell
sell
it for $500.
$500 is what they're going for, and he's framing one. He took
Okay,
3.
so-
First off, what guy takes
all
3?
right. So let's just go back. there has been I don't know how many episodes of American Pickers there have been, but a total of 0 have ever been done in a radio station break room.
Yeah.
Okay. So there is rare gold that is going to be discovered in the radio station.
Can you
break room.
believe that they thought that they were real? I guess they can imagine that maybe he did sign some, sending them out for radio stations, I guess.
See, this is going to be double great because when I let people know or they find out that I'm the one who signed all of these that they took home and thought were real, one, they're going to be let down because they don't have Stallone's autograph. But two, next time something autograph is put in the break room, they're going to question the hell out of it. So I really double whammy the hell out of everybody.
So
it's
your,
pretty sweet.
Your initial question was, how good a prank is this?
It's pretty damn good.
Pretty
but
good.
what's the reveal?
I don't know that you reveal. Sometimes the best prank is.
But what
Actually,
if a
no.
guy-
So where is the one that's on auction?
What if a guy
Where's the one
sells
being
it?
auctioned?
Yeah,
He's trying to. He's like texting people, trying
His friends. He's going to sell it to a friend. He's not trying to put it public.
$500 is what he wants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you know what? Think about it.
I can't think of anybody that I know in my phone at this moment.
They would give you $500 for a Stallone
I
autograph.
don't think there's a one.
I don't either, but
I don't
this
think there's
guy.
any, let alone multiple.
Somebody texts you right now offering you that. Would you take
No,
it?
I
Jamie,
wouldn't.
Jamie, let's depend you run with a different crowd, okay, than what you do. This guy that we're talking about, we call him intense sales guy. This guy's a trip, so he's going to frame his. He did get 2 others, so he took 3
He wasn't hanging
of
in his
10.
bedroom. He doesn't care what his wife said.
Yeah, so he's
Next was Anderson Silva autograph.
he's near our age, so he loves Sylvester Stallone. Who wouldn't?
Let me
And the
just
autograph,
suggest
by the
that-
way, this guy's a good forger because the autograph is spot on. He did a great job.
You got a new future. In there.
Yeah,
I've been doing it since I was like
possible
16.
Autograph forgery.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But think about it. To somebody, if he's selling it to a
Actually,
friend,
you know what that would be? That would be an interesting bit to try to pull off at like a Dragon Con or something.
Oh, you
is if
get
you could get
killed.
posters where you just leave like posters in corners and have them be discovered to be, oh my God! Right? You know all the people that are coming,
Yeah.
right?
But who buys
That would
something?
be the greatest.
But nobody buys anything like that without a certificate of authenticity, I assume.
Yeah, there's it's nothing.
right. But here's the
So
thing,
listen,
Jamie. Think about this.
So-
If this guy's
so
at radio
without
station.
a certificate of authenticity.
Without
Steve,
that, to
right?
make it-
that is a great motto for life.
Yeah.
I am not doing it without a certificate of authenticity. Right? You are very rarely going to go wrong.
Right.
Right?
But this guy works in radio, so his friends they think, when you're a sales guy or whether you work in radio, just like you, around comedy or something, people, they figure how it all works, and they're like, dude, you work at the radio station, you got this, so it's definitely
wouldn't be
real.
uncommon.
It's got to be, it wouldn't be rare.
It's not that far-fetched that there would be an
not.
autographed item laying on
To somebody
so let's-
outside of the
okay,
business,
so
they
then
would think
let's-
it's real.
Let's lift the veil, shall we? Let's
right,
lift the veil.
Yeah, that's where I need your help.
Yeah. Okay. So let's suppose that that's true. Let's suppose that
He really
in
did
some
sign it.
world, Sylvester Stallone is autographing posters that are to be delivered to radio stations around the country.
Pretty awesome.
Okay. But then not very rare. Right? So the market is somewhat depressed. Of,
100%.
right? I mean,
Completely agree.
if we're at the point where we're going, listen, send 10 to Atlanta and they're probably
10 to
not
San
sending just
Diego.
10 to you.
Yeah, it's 10 to this company and 10 to this
that.
company
Yeah, I
and
mean,
10 to
there's
this company.
There's a lot of posters around.
Right. Kind of like the Yeah, Come On hat.
Yeah, not much
Well,
scarcity.
and also that's why it's yet to get $500 at an auction.
I know. But I got to tell you, you look good in a Yeah, Come On hat. I just want to thank
Yeah.
you for wearing it. Do you think you'll ever wear it again?
So I've had the misfortune of being able to look at myself here in the monitor and not like any portion of it, but really out of respect and as sort of a long form experiment in how much lower can this sink on my head, I left it.
I think it's the headphones that are making it
I left
sink.
it. And then I thought it's possible that this hat is defective because I've developed an excruciating headache while we're sitting here.
No,
You can leave it because I have an explanation, Steve. I have an explanation.
hell of an endorsement.
This is not good for business.
No, it's fine because few of probably the purchasers or winners of the hat are
More
going
purchasers.
to have headphones on where they inadvertently set the headphone on the button.
On the nipple.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So I now.
The old
yeah,
button.
I thought could be the hat.
Sorry, dude. You got a headache?
No, I'm being facetious.
You want some?
but,
Okay, because
yeah.
I got meds.
No, I'm fine.
You wanna
But
pop
it is a low-fitting hat. I don't think it. I think that there's a lot negative that's going on for me right now. So
Why didn't you put yours on today?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I bought 5 of them. Give me a break.
Why did this show have to end so
Is it here?
sad?
What is this?
Why are we ending so sad?
The entire time.
Yeah, I know. Well, you know,
Instead, it's sideways. It's low. It's.
I know. Well, you're a beautiful man. In closing, I want to thank you.
Are we closing this?
We're
Is it
closing
possible that we're
this.
closing this? Whoa! Hey.
By the way,
Get out of here, Woodruff.
Woodruff, I want to thank you for having a
I
great.
feel like I had my own.
Woodruff, cheap Woodruff. I keep saying.
I know, because I'm trying to influence Woodruff.
You want to know where that comes from? There's a scout reservation called Woodruff, and I went there for summer camp, so it's hard for me.
I need the applause on that one.
Where we got a patch and making bourbon.
Yeah, and also I went to Burt Adams for those Boy Scouts out there watching. Woodford Reserve, I just want to thank you for having a really strong bottle. That's nice.
Really testing the durability.
Oh, you're banging it all over the place.
Yes.
Yeah.
I just want to thank Jamie
That's
Bendall.
been his whole life.
Yeah.
Let me get that. Hold on.
Hey.
That was good. That was good. He's a comedian. He's a comedy writer. He's a lawyer. He's a realtor. He's an EMC.
JamieBendall.com.
He's an entrepreneur. Real quick in ending, is there anything you want to plug that you've got going on or anything we need to know?
Steve, it has just been a pleasure to be here today. And
How do we get a hold of you?
you can just visit JamieBendall.com.
Jamie Bendall.
Yeah.
It's a very well-known website, by the way. I like how you have the 4 different boxes you can click and.
I tried to design that to
Yeah,
figure
it's very
out
well
exactly
designed.
what was going on.
By the way,
whatever.
that's spelled Bendall.
Yes, and for those of you that may share my last name, and there are many of us actually here in the South, Bendall is a
There's
pretty
a lot of
common last
Bendalls?
name, apparently. And in high school, I ran for class president.
Awesome.
Yes.
I went for vice president.
Did you? And I lost, Steve.
I lost too by 3 votes.
All
I
right.
found out.
I never checked the vote tally, but
I knew somebody on student council that told me.
Oh, you had inside information?
I did. They said you lost by 3 votes to Derek Quinn. He played baseball.
You played soccer.
We're unearthing some painful memories.
Yeah, apparently.
I lost because of soccer. I don't know why you.
Was soccer not a...
It was cool, but not cool as it is now. I was ahead of my time. What about you?
So are you saying that the baseball team had more
Derek
vote sway in high school?
Derek did not have the skill set that I did. I was going to get more done for the class, and I like Derek. I went to kindergarten with him.
Extra recess?
But Derek was a little slower than I was, if that makes any sense.
Oh man.
I think we'll get Coca-Cola. I'm like, come on, Derek. I'm quicker than that. I think we'll get Coca-Cola.
Your whole campaign should have been just saying what he says, just faster.
This whole campaign is this guy a moron?
I'm quicker.
Right.
I'm quicker. So you made a speech. I had to make a speech, too. I had a long speech.
Jesus.
And I bet you got done in about the same amount of time as Derek.
I had all these what I was going to do's and what I'm not going to do's. All right, so.
Did you have what you wanted to do and what you didn't want to do?
I
So
did.
you know what? Here's the greatest thing that I've learned about, and I am so grateful that I got to be here today, right? Because this is,
I love you.
I am gonna say yes to podcasts differently going forward. So
Gonna have a more
Yes will sound like a no.
stricter screening.
By the way, Jamie,
I'm all right. I'm busy.
I got
prior obligations.
Yeah.
we're going to ask you on again.
But here's the greatest part: is it actually has been a terrific experience because I've started to say something, saying I think what I'm about to say is pretty interesting. Then you've interrupted, and I thought I probably shouldn't have started telling this story. So it's actually been like real-time second guessing.
Shut up. Go ahead.
No, I'm done. I don't have anything to say. I realize.
I want you to talk about.
You're gonna reevaluate all your stories.
I should know. I have. I'm like, oh no,
Don't
he's clearly.
reevaluate.
Yeah.
Jamie,
Yeah.
Jamie, in closing, please tell us what went
What
wrong.
I want to know is
you had a campaign.
No.
And you lost president.
So here's the thing. You have got to be enjoying Brooks at this point right now.
I am.
Okay. Simply because he has no other comparative choices. Right?
Let's see where this is
As
He
it
does.
relates.
He's got Cars 4.
So he's probably a great audience for you. You're like, my dad is the greatest. We talked about 73 different things.
Steve's like,
I
I'm
said
killing it.
car, and off Dad went.
Yes. Dad will entertain.
Yeah, that's the awesome part.
captive audience.
Yeah.
Right.
Are you saying because he can't drive or get away?
No, you should. So and
He walks
Steve-
pretty good.
So listen. Okay, So we go from high moment to serious moment. Okay,
Okay.
we're gonna bring it back here because
All right,
we're
let's
gonna
bring
wrap
it
up.
back.
We're gonna finish this up.
I want to know what
Okay.
happened to you being
So
president.
listen to me.
Go ahead.
Listen. People don't talk about this a lot. You maybe experienced it yourself.
Okay.
Child is born.
Yeah.
right? For a long time, child don't know that they differentiate between me and any else part of the world, right? It takes a while for your child to know that you belong to your child.
Sure.
Right? And it's great because for some time period, they can't move. They can't crawl, they can't walk, they can't run.
They're helpless.
They are completely dependent on you.
They need to be
As
swaddled.
soon as your child becomes mobile, right? They spend the rest of their life moving away from you.
I know.
Right?
That's
so that
hurtful.
period is the greatest period, right? Where you're like, we are here, and then it's accepting your child's willingness to go out and explore the rest of the world. All right. Freshman year, high school,
I love it.
class presidency.
Boom.
I think I have got this thing locked up because I have the amazing slogan that is going to get me that fourth vote
What was
that I
it?
needed to get over the finish line.
Be with Bendall?
Close.
Oh.
It's not the be-all or the end-all, but vote for Jamie Bendall.
Damn.
Boom.
Who gave you?
Went down in defeat, lost convincingly.
It is the
Who
end all.
beat you?
Yeah.
Do you remember who beat you?
Vinnie Riley, he won all 4 years. Vinnie Riley was the undisputed king of electoral politics in my high school.
He's a douchebag.
No, he was awesome.
joking.
Was on a nuclear sub and did the whole thing. He was
Nuclear
oh,
sub?
Wow. Yeah. I mean, he
Smart
was.
dude.
Oh, he eighth grade through. He was
Good
the class
God.
president.
What was
Yeah.
his name again?
Vinnie Riley, great guy.
Vinnie Riley.
Yep.
What a that's am I wrong? It's like Italian meets Irish.
Yeah, yeah.
What the hell?
Vincenzo Riley.
Yo, my name's Vinnie Riley.
All right, it's so hot in here.
Yeah, can we wrap this up? I'm
Yeah, we're
sweating
gonna.
my-
I know.
I'm sweating my dude. I don't know how you have a jacket on. I'm
Holy
drenched,
Lord.
dude. I'm fucking dying in here. And that's my first F word. Like, why do you think I've sat back? My whole back is
Waiting.
swamped.
Yeah.
You want to know what my balls feel like? Jesus.
Stop. Jamie Bendall's
right.
been in a blazer.
Jesus.
Are you
All right.
sweating? You look fantastic. You look
All right, so for the Yeah Come On podcast, I'm Jamie Bendall. He's Southside Steve.
And you don't know my name, so we're all good. Let's get Brett Barney.
I know. We've been saying it all show. I
I hope not.
Special
more
thanks.
credit.
Yeah.
Special thanks to the sweaty Brett.
don't know how the introductions go in or out. He's
No, the on again, off again, Tyler Maynard, and that is the man around town, Mr. Alpharetta, Mr. Milton, Mr. Downtown, Mr. Jamie Bendall. Yeah, come on.
Yeah, come on.